Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. My name is Marnie Hernandez, and today we're doing training on Brit Agent, okay? The website is britagent.com, and you just go in and register, very easy. Follow along on your phone so you can take the test with us online. Excuse me. So we're going to do this training, and again, these are kind of fun to do. We get to learn about the different areas, different resorts, stuff like that, how to sell Britain now. We did do Alaska on Wednesday. I do have that recorded on my YouTube channel. And then we're going to, for next month, I think we're going to do, excuse me, Bora Bora, Thailand, St. Lucia, Australia. And if you guys have any other ones you want to do, you know, it's just something fun that we do together. So if everybody is here and ready, let's go ahead and get started. Again, if you're just trying to get registered, don't worry, we will wait for you for doing the test, okay? Sometimes we do interactive, okay? Sometimes it's video, sometimes I have to read. As you can hear, I'm losing my voice. So we may want to go ahead and, you know, if you want to volunteer to read, be my guest, okay? So I'll start out and then we'll go ahead and get, you know, let you guys go. So to become a qualified Brit agent, you need to successfully complete all of our online modules. When you've completed each module, you will get a certificate of completion. When you have completed them all, you will be a qualified Brit agent. Our training modules are reviewed on a regular basis to ensure to check back regularly to get the latest updates, okay? Ivan, no, I still need to finish Marriott also. I am going to add one extra day each week to catch up. I still need to catch up on Marriott, Princess, and Hawaii. So I will let you know when we will complete Marriott, all right? All right, so let's go ahead. So to start a course, click view on any of the courses and you'll be guided through the lessons. At the end of each lesson, you'll have a chance to complete the test. Passing the test will give you the certificate. Again, these are fun because then you get to post your certificate. People get to see what you accomplished. And then, you know, again, hey guys, anybody want to go to Britain? Each course contains a number of lesson topics and you'll need to complete the assessments for each course before you can become a Brit agent. Last but not least, you've completed all of the courses. You'll be recognized as a fully qualified Brit agent. You'll receive your certificates of achievement, which you can access on your page. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, welcome to the dashboards. Here to find a list of the courses. You can see how far you've gone. You are looking at the percentage marker and you can easily see your score by looking at the top right-hand module of the completed courses, okay? So courses in progress, view all. There's new courses here, okay? So let's go ahead. It doesn't look like you've started any. No, I have not. So we're gonna view all and let's see. All right, so here's the courses. So looks like I did sign this up for next Friday too, because it looks like we do have a pretty lengthy training. So let's see how long they are. So we'll go ahead with the first one, okay? Experience Britain. So is everybody here? You guys all okay? Again, if you're falling behind or anything, don't worry, we will wait for you. Go ahead, we have the chat box open. We have plenty of people here to help you to make sure you find out where we're at and we'll get started, okay? All right, so about this course, welcome to Experience Britain. This module will explain how to create the best experience for your clients. Once you have completed the module, you'll be able to give advice to clients on when the best time to visit Britain is and how to get the best value for the money. Sell experiences to your clients that can only be found in Britain, and sell options to your clients depending upon their lifestyle and interests. All right, so let's go ahead and next. Challenging perceptions, okay? So Britain is mistakenly labeled cold in the welcome of its people as well as the weather. Many first-time visitors are surprised by its mild temperature and vibrant culture. Although Britain has proudly protected its heritage over time, it is also a place where new and exciting things happen every single day of the year. Excuse me. So Joetta, one of your homelands, you can help us with the test then, okay? Weather. Britain has a generally moderate climate, which means warm summers and mild winters. It is true Britain has changeable weather and it will rain during the summer as well as the winter. However, we are grateful for the temperamental rainfall that gives Britain its rich greenlands, distinct plants, and rare wildlife for everyone to enjoy. The temperature is mild enough for Britain to grow vineyards for our award-winning wines. Contrary to the rest of the world's views, Britain is actually surprisingly dry. London gets less rainfall than Rome, Sydney, or New York City per year. In some years, annual rainfalls total in Essex and Suffolk has been below 450 millimeters. That's less than the average annual rainfall in Jerusalem and Beirut. Welcome. The people of Britain have a great sense of humor and are incredibly approachable. With people of London speaking over 300 languages, Britain is one of the most culturally diverse countries in the world. Throughout Britain, there are many international culinary options as well as worldwide influences in the fashion scene and music heard. All right, Carrie, can you put that in an open? She's saying she can't get a sign up, they won't take her password. It took me a while. I had to go back in and try to re-register. So try that again. Food. Where else in Europe can you find good, really good Peruvian, Vietnamese, Spanish, Moroccan, Polish, and yes, French and Italian all in one place? Also, Carrie, don't worry, we will wait for you for the test, okay? Visitors are attracted to Britain's cosmopolitan taste in food, and it's not just London, where you can have fantastic dining experiences. Birmingham has 4 Michelin-starred restaurants. Edinburgh has 5 restaurants, and Bath and Bristol have 3. Even some of our pubs have Michelin stars, okay? Again, that could be a test, guys, so pay attention. Quality. Britain has quality schemes running across the country. These logos indicate accommodations and visitor attractions which have been assessed for quality and standard. Value. Britain is fantastic value for the money. Rates and special offers are more widely available if you visit outside the British public holidays and the school breaks. Many visitor attractions and transport will offer discounts if visitors are coming as a family, as a student, or in a group. Okay. All right, so let's finish. Again, Carrie, I would go and try to sign up again or register. It didn't take mine, and then I re-registered, and then it took it, okay? All right, so let's hit finish and see if it takes us to the test. All right, so first test, completed the ticked lessons. Okay, go to next session. Okay, I guess we don't have a test right now. So now we're gonna go to selling Britain, okay? So to next lesson. I don't know if it's working or I just click on it. All right, there we go. All right. All right, you guys doing okay? What region, where are we? Okay, we just started at the very beginning. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We got you, we got you. All right, so if you go back here, right here, she's a parrot. All right, so right here, this was the beginning, right? Then you're gonna view all, okay? Just so you guys can see, view all, it's gonna take a while. Okay. And then, okay, so filter, so we're going to do experience. So we started here, okay, experience Britain. So we're going back into there, and then we're on the second part of that, okay? All right, so in progress, so continue. Okay, so welcome to Experience Britain. The module will explain how to create the best experience for your clients. Once you have completed the module, give advice to your clients and so on, okay? Sell experience. Okay, so continue. All right, so challenging perceptions, okay? Britain is mistaken. Oh, I did this already, right? Yes, we did this, so finish this. So this is what we just went over. So right here, now we're on selling Britain. Okay, everybody there? Selling Britain. Again, we haven't taken any tests yet, so you guys are still good. All right, youth. Many young people come to Britain for some of the most unique adventures only found here. With train and coach travel options running the length of the country, travelers can make use of youth passes, allowing them to move around at discounted prices. Other economical options include backpackers, accommodation, and hostels, which allow clients to stay in comfortable accommodations whilst meeting other travelers along the way. Students will find additional discounts if they can produce a valid international student identity card in high street retail shops, as well as restaurants, hotels, tours, and participating attractions. Family. Britain is a fun destination for families with children of all ages. There are many attractions, accommodations, restaurants, and even pubs that tailor services especially to welcome families. Most attractions offer either child discount rates or family tickets. Britain also has a number of holiday centers catering specifically for families. Accommodation, meals, entertainment, and sports facilities are usually all included in the price of a stay. Ideal attractions in Britain for families include zoos and safari parks. Another great option is theme parks that can keep a family entertained for an entire day. Romance. Whether it's strolling hand in hand on country walks, stargazing into velvet blue skies, or laying down a private picnic on a hidden beach, there are plenty of places for romance in Britain. Choose relaxed weekends in historic castles or exciting adventures in one of our vibrant cities. Indulge in a spa retreat or discover a hidden restaurant off the beaten track. You can find passes for attractions that will discount entrance fees on the Visit Britain Shop website. Okay, so keep that in mind. Next. So good, these are kind of quick, so that's good, okay? All right, next we're going to do the real experience. And congratulations, Ivan, on your big booking. Guys, whenever you're doing bookings and stuff, let us know. Let us celebrate with you. Also, Christine, she made a executive today. So congratulations, Christine. Okay. So again, you know, we want to celebrate with you guys. Let us know if you got a booking. I know Bianca, you had somebody sign up today, right? So congratulations there. Real experiences. There are some things only seen and experienced in Britain. Here are a few examples of what Britain can offer. Food and drink. The best place to have afternoon tea is in Britain, and the tradition has been celebrated for many years by both visitors and locals. Many British pubs have improved their menus and are great places for enjoying good value quality food and drink. Can somebody let Carrie know where we're at? Okay, she's asking in the chat box. Cookery schools in Britain are a great way for your client to combine a love of food with learning a practical skill. Some of the schools are run by famous celebrity chefs such as Rick Stein Seafood School in Cornwall. Foraging and bushcraft day trips teach people how to search for wild food growing in Britain's countryside. All right, Carrie, we're right here under real experience. So what you're going to do is go into the training and then start here. And then we're on, I think, the third one. Okay. And again, you just click through them. We have not taken a test yet. All right. Local people in Britain celebrate food and drink at festivals across the country. Some of the best festivals include the Cheese Show in Chester, Llangollen Food Festival in Wales, and Cider Festival in Kent. Gardens and natural landscape. Britain has led the way in creating some of the world's finest gardens, whether it's the Lost Gardens of Heligan in Cornwall, the intriguing Poison Garden in Alnwick, or Northumberland, or the recently discovered historic walled gardens of Aberglasney. There's something for all. The Chelsea Flower Show is one of the world's most famous horticultural shows. You will find other similar events across the country like Hampton Court and Tatton Park. Lectures hosted by organizations such as the Royal Horticultural Society and National Trust offer the chance to learn from landscape and horticulture experts. Britain has 15 national parks. How many? 15, okay? Designed to care for the beautiful countryside, wildlife, and cultural heritage. All of these protected parks, along with the areas of outstanding natural beauty and areas of special scientific interest, are open for visitors and locals to enjoy. In Britain, you will only be 70 miles away from the coastline. For remote beaches, head to Parr Beach on the Isle of Scilly or Sands of Morar in Scotland. If you want family fun, try Britton Pier in southeast England or Burnt Island in Scotland. For unique experiences, visit the World Heritage Sites of Causeway Coast in Northern Ireland or the Jurassic Coast in southwest England. What about music? British influence in music continues to have a profound impact internationally. Britain was the birthplace of punk, heavy metal, and Britpop. Some of the world's most famous musicians and bands started here. Britain has many internationally known music festivals like the Glastonbury Festival, as well as local concerts and performances. Classical music is a cultural pastime with performances in grand opera houses, open air theaters, and magnificent music halls, attracting many international visitors. Each of the 4 countries of Britain has its own diverse and distinctive folk music forms that visitors can hear in traditional pubs and festivals. Sport. Britain is a home to some of the greatest sporting events in the world. Visitors can come to play on championship golf courses. All right, I want to go to Britain, exactly. Watch famous internationally footballers in the Premier League and eat strawberries at the Wimbledon Lawn Tennis Championships. Some of the best adventure and extreme sports locations can be found in Britain. Visitors can try out the new sport of coastering, land yachting, or attempt the Three Peaks Challenge. World Athletics Championship 2017. After the success of London 2012 Olympic Games, Britain was chosen to host the 2017 IAAF World Athletics Championship. The games were staged in the London Olympic Stadium in the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. What about Cricket World? Cricket World Cup 2019, the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019 was hosted by England and Wales in 2019. The famous Oval staged the opening game and historical Lords hosted the final match. Other destinations that hosted games included Birmingham, Bristol, Cardiff, Durham, Leeds, Manchester, Nottingham, Southampton, and Taunton. All right, creative culture. Almost done. Okay, creative culture. Legends, festivals, books, and film. Britain has got plenty of talent when it comes to the creative arts. Some of the most important museums and galleries in the world containing the most fascinating collections are located in Britain. This is home to modern street artists, Banksy, and painters of the past like Turner and Laurie. Blockbusters have been shot at England's top film studios. Britain is the backdrop to James Bond action and Harry Potter films. Clients can visit Hogwarts and see special effects on the Warner Brothers studio tour in London. Bradford in Yorkshire is the world's first UNESCO city of film. Literature is greatly celebrated with famous authors drawing inspiration from locations around Britain. Visit Bath to see locations written in Jane Austen's books, or walk in the shoes of Alice, featured in the Wonderland Tales by Lewis Carroll. In Oxfordshire, every year, Hay-on-Wye holds a major book festival, and Cheltenham has a week-long literature festival. Norwich and Edinburgh both hold UNESCO City of Literature status. Some of the best theater productions and performances can be watched in Britain, from historical Shakespeare and classical ballet to modern West End musicals and comedy shows. As the world's first industrial revolution nation, Britain attracts many international visitors wanting to see the preserved historical sites that led to the nation becoming the workshop of the world. Some of the best places to visit to see living industrial history are in Bristol, Birmingham, Yorkshire, and Glasgow. Heritage. Britain retains a royal sovereign as head of state for the country. There are many stories associated with Britain's monarchy that come alive in the great palaces and castles scattered across the country. Britain still practices the royal tradition with events like changing of the guard and Edinburgh tattoo. Countries that have ancestral and historical links with Britain are interested in Britain's cultural heritage, as to large extent this is considered part of their own. Many international visitors come to trace their family history and discover more about their ancestors. Britain's vast tales of myth and legend include some of the world's richest verbal literature dating back centuries. Hunt for the Holy Grail in Glastonbury, or hide in the trees with Robin Hood at Nottingham's Sherwood Forest. Hear how the giants built the causeway in Northern Ireland, and marvel at King Arthur's Round Table in Winchester. I'd love to do that tour, huh, guys? All right, official World Cup, 2 tickets in. Okay, that's an insider tip if you can read that, okay? All right, finished. Next. Da-da-da. Anybody want to read? I'm going to do these 2, and then the next group, somebody else can read. So get ready. All right, we're doing Luxury Britain. Luxury Britain, if you guys are following along. Britain is a perfect destination for taking some time out and experiencing a luxury holiday. There are many types of luxury accommodations and activities available. Did you know that Visit Britain has created a quality assessment scheme in partnership with the Spa Business Association and BISA, British International Spa Association. So luxury experience, from arts and culture to sport and heritage. Your clients can immerse themselves in the finer things in Britain. These quintessential British experiences might include playing a round of golf at Glen Eagles, or watching Ascot from a hospitality box. Clients can also enjoy a balloon ride over the picturesque countryside, or travel by Simplon Orient Express across Britain. Luxury shopping. British host some of the world's finest fashion houses, from Vivienne Westwood, Mulberry, Asprey to Paul Smith. Alongside these, Britain is home to the most prestigious shop, Harrods in Knightsbridge, London, where your clients can spend a day with a personal shopper. Who wants to be Julia Roberts, right? Okay, luxury retreat. Britain has an extensive range of spas and health farms where visitors can relax, take a part in fitness activities, and experience luxurious spa treatments. Britain has many elegant spa resorts, towns, and cities, and they often have a long history. Its finest and most fashionable spa cities and towns include Royal Turnbridge, Wells, Bath, Cheltenham, and Harrogate. Thermais Bath Spa has a fantastic rooftop pool, or in Harrogate, visitors can experience the luxurious and newly re-restored Victorian Turkish baths and house spa. All right, luxury properties, a few days at a stately home or country house makes a perfect luxury break, and there are some great properties to choose from. Staying in a castle has to be one of the ultimate luxury experiences in Britain. Boutique hotels have also helped form Britain's reputation as destination for quality, luxury, and accommodation. All right, one more. I know, that would be amazing, huh? Maybe we'll have to do that for our next team trip, right? All right, Britain on a budget. This is what I like. Yep. Who doesn't like to save money? Did you know Visitor Oyster cards offer exclusive discounts on top London food and drink, retail, and venues? All clients need to do is show their Visitor Oyster card. So you have insider tips here, okay? All right, Britain is surprisingly easy to experience on a budget holiday. As you know, in the over in the European side, they call vacations holidays, okay, if you didn't know that. There are many types of budget accommodation options and activities available. All right, experience for free. From arts and culture to sports and heritage, your clients can see the best of Britain. The London Marathon is free to watch, as well as the Stonehaven Fireball ceremony in Scotland. Most museums and galleries have free entry, not just in London, but across the country. English Heritage offer free access to historical sites with a valid English Heritage Overseas Visitor Pass. Bargain shopping. I always want a bargain, right? Ooh, cool, Linda, we'll have to go. Britain has fantastic markets where you can negotiate the price you pay for products. Try some of the popular spots like London's Covent Garden and Old Spitalfields Market, or the Bullring Markets. I got that in Birmingham. What about a value stay? Britain has some amazing self-catering accommodations with all the comforts of home. If you're coming with a family or group of friends, the cost per person tends to be lower than in a standard hotel accommodation. Caravan parks offer great value holidays, and most will provide entertainment amenities within the resort. Camping sites are a low-cost option, widely available in the countrysides. Most will provide modern washing and lavatory facilities on the campus grounds. And then budget travel. A Visitor Oyster card is the best option for weekends and bank holidays in London, as these times are always off-peak. After 3 single journeys, the card will automatically cap at the equivalent of a one-day travel card. As the card can be recharged and used again at each trip, Visitor Oyster card is ideal for all adult travelers over 16 and visitors segments from fit to groups, from business travel to leisure. Visitor Oyster card will allow your clients to travel in London up to Zone 9. This allows maximum flexibility for taking advantage of all the London has to offer outside of the usual central London zones. For example, Wembley Stadium, Wimbledon, London Olympic Stadium. The balance on Visit Oyster card doesn't expire, and this makes the best product for multi-destinations trips. For example, those who visit London head off to explore the UK and then return to London for a couple more days before flying home. Okay. All right, I think we're done with this section. So anybody want to read? We have a test now, I'm sure. And then if I have any volunteers. Okay, come on. There we go. All right, so we went ahead. Now we got to take the assessment. Who's ready? Come on, get your thinking caps on. Do, 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 do. Dang, come on. Anybody else?
Good to know. Yeah, mine's slow too. I was just going to say, good to know mine's not the only one slow.
It's like, damn. Let me know when your guys's pops up.
So once I did mine, 1 second. I'll just put it in the message box.
Yay. Oh, completed. We didn't take the test. Do we not have to take the test? Anybody take the test or it just went on?
No, mine just said this page isn't working, so I just hit refresh.
Okay,
Marnie, the test comes after that third one, just so you guys know.
right here,
Yeah, after that
assessment.
one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you
Yep.
already done?
I've done some of these already in my other ones, so I kind of remember.
Okay, perfect. All right, so it looks like, yes, so their assessment. Okay, perfect. So there, it'll take us there. All right, perfect. So visit Britain. Let's start there. Are you guys learning anything? It sounds like fun place to go, huh? Who all here
Absolutely.
has been? Anybody's been?
Not yet. I'm homesick. I haven't left the country, but that's my first place I'm going.
Okay. So Wales is one of 3 countries that, with England and Scotland, make up Britain. Located in the west of England, it is easily accessible from key points in England. Only 2 hours travel time from London and an hour from Liverpool and Manchester. So it's perfect to include in the British itinerary. Completing the Wales module, you'll realize that Wales is a distinct country with its own identity, and that no visit to Britain is complete without including Wales. Wales offers holidays to suit everyone: city breaks, heritage and culture breaks, walking and cycling breaks, nature holidays, high adrenaline adventure holidays, car touring holidays. After you have completed this module, you'll be much more familiar with Wales and confident to book your clients' holidays. Visit Wales Trade is useful information. And remember to keep updated with what is happening, signing on, okay? All right, start. Thank you, Robert. All right, so national parks, 1 of 11. Anybody want to, oh my God, anybody want to read?
I will.
Okay.
National parks were created to protect the most beautiful and imposing landscapes in the UK. Wales proudly claims 3 national parks and 5 areas of outstanding natural beauty, with a rich variety of wildlife waiting to be discovered too. Did you know Snowdonia and Brecon Beacons National Parks are 2 of only 10 locations worldwide to be designated as an international dark sky reserve? There are 3 national parks in Wales: Snowdonia, Pembrokeshire Coast, and Brecon Beacons together make up 20% of the land or area of Wales. The national parks can be enjoyed through a range of outdoor activities on water and land, including walking, cycling, horse riding, caving and rock climbing, fishing, and water sports. With wild landscapes and villages steeped in history and legend, Snowdonia National Park is a breathtaking destination. This mountainous heart of southern Britain has always been one of the country's most popular destinations for hiking and outdoor holidays. But there's more to this region than craters and crags. There's also a big splash of imagination. Rugged industrial landscapes have reinvented to create a series of truly world-class attractions. Surf Snowdonia is the world's first inland surfing lagoon, where perfect 2-meter waves curl at the touch of a button. Zip World Velocity is the fastest zip line on the planet. Groups experience the closest thing to flying as they hurl at more than 100 miles an hour, high above an old slate quarry. Holy guacamole. Snowdonia has various steam railways. Take your pick from the Welsh Highland Heritage Railway, the Festiniog and Welsh Highland Railway, Llanberis Lake Railway, and several others. They provide a relaxing way to explore the 823 square mile national park and stunning coastal scenery. On the Snowdon Mountain Railway, There's even a train to take them to the top of the tallest mountain in England and Wales without breaking a sweat. Bala Lake is the largest natural lake in Wales, and the area boasts a wealth of picturesque villages like Betws, Coed, and Bedagelter. The tourist information centers in Betws, Coed, Bergelert, and Aberdyfi have excellent information on the Snowdonia region, selling a range of guidebooks and maps of the area. Pembrokeshire Coast National Park is Britain's only truly coastal national park, covering 620 square kilometers of spectacular landscape around Wales' southern western shore. It covers almost every kind of maritime landscape: steep limestone cliffs, undulating red sandstone bays, volcanic headlands, estuaries, flooded glacial valleys, and more than 50 sandy beaches, including pristine Barafundle, often voted one of the best in Britain. For walkers, the Pembrokeshire Coast Path National Trail was once rated the third best walking route in the world, just ahead of Mount Kilimanjaro and the Inca Trail. One of the prettiest and coziest Welsh seaside towns is Tenby, with 4 beaches all of its own. With its fine Victorian houses painted in pastel colors, this is one of the prettiest and coziest Welsh seaside towns and a gateway to South Pembrokeshire. Its Welsh name, Dinbych Pisod, Little Fortress of the Fish, is a nod to the harbor beside Castle Hill. In craggy North Pembrokeshire, at the westernmost tip of Wales, stands Britain's smallest city of St. David's, with its beautiful 6th century cathedral, once compared by the Pope to Rome's holiest sites. The Oriel Park Visitor Center in St. David's has knowledgeable staff who can advise visitors, plus a wide range of resources for visitors, including guidebooks and maps, and a cafe and exhibition center. Brecon Beacons National Park is just 40 minutes away from Wales' capital city, Cardiff. The national park's grassy, heather-clad mountains have been molded by nearly 8 millennia of human activity. Today, this is a fantastic place for an activity holiday with superb walking, mountain biking, and horse riding trails, caves, forests, and a historic canal. Plus, characterful towns, pubs, farmers markets, and Michelin-starred restaurants. The town of Brecon is the natural base from which to explore Wales' third national park. It's also a cultural hub, foodie hotspot, and architectural treasure trove. The southern part of the Brecon Beacons is full of caves, caverns, and passages carved out of carboniferous limestone. When local farmers Jeff and Tommy Morgan squeezed through a gap in a hillside in 1912, they discovered a geologic marvel millions of years in the making. The result is the awe-inspiring Daniel Agaf National Showcase Center for Wales, where visitors can walk down twisting subterranean passageways through immense caverns and past 20-meter-high cascading waterfalls that feed an underground lake. It's been voted the greatest natural wonder in Britain. The National Park Visitor Center at Lebanus provides amazing views of Pen Fan, the tallest peak in the southern Britain at 886 meters.
Yay. Very good. Isn't this fun?
Yes.
Takes a lot out of you, huh?
Yes, us and our wonderful dialect and translation. Then I get more confused because I'm half Irish with the English and the Scottish.
Okay, good. Want to go on?
Yeah, I'll go on. In Snowdonia, 9 of the mountain ranges have 15 peaks over 2,900 feet high, including Mount Snowdon, the highest peak in Wales at 3,560 feet. Walkers could take one of 6 official routes of varying difficulty to the summit, or take the Snowdon Mountain Railway, where a round trip takes 2.5 hours. Nice. I love my trains.
Yeah.
And that's the best place to take trains in the world, is definitely in the UK. All of Europe. Best for mountaineering, hiking, mountain biking, wild swimming, whitewater rafting, narrow gauge railway, waterfalls, lakes, and photography. The Cambrian Mountains in mid Wales are one of the few remote places left in the southern half of Britain, with only one main road crossing the range. They're home to the sources of the Wye and the Severn, the peaceful Ellen. They're home to the sources of the Wye and the Severn, the peaceful Elan Valley reservoirs, and miles of wild scenery, home to owls and other birds of prey. Best for bird watching reservoirs, wilderness walks, and bog snorkeling. Okay, that's interesting. Nobody else said we were right. The Black Mountains in the eastern part of the Brecon Beacons National Park rise above 1,968 feet. Tiny villages, churches, and farms can be found throughout the area. Walking along the heath-covered ridges that cross the mountains gives views of the long, narrow valleys below. Best for walking, cycling, mountain biking, horse riding, canal boating, stargazing, nature trails, and ancient sites. Sounds like the place to me.
Yeah.
Did you know Sir Edmund Hillary, the first man to climb Mount Everest in 1953 with Sherpa Tenzing Norgay, trained with his team on the slopes of Tryfan and Snowdonia? Oh, cool. Didn't know that.
Now, again, when you get tired, let somebody else know because there's 11 of these, okay?
Okay, dokie. I'll read this one, then somebody else can go.
Okay.
Lakes and waterfalls. Wales has 398 natural lakes and 90 that are man-made. Lyn Tegid Bala Lake in Gwynedd is over 3.1 miles long and popular for canoeing, kayaking, and windsurfing. It's claimed to have its own Loch Ness-style mythical monster. Ooh. Snowdonia's Lake Verneuil has a deep past. The dam that created the lake, completed in 1888, submerged the whole village of Lentwind. At times when the water levels drops far enough during dry summers, the ruins of the old village reappear, best for bird watching. Wales waterfalls include Pitstyle Red Air, which is 239 feet, 72 feet higher than Niagara Falls. Whoa. The Vale of Neath is known as waterfall country, where the deep gorges of Three Rivers has created an abundance of dramatic waterfalls within a small area. Sewed Air, meaning fall of snow, is 15.5 meters high. It is so called because of its torrential foaming wet water. This is the most photographed of all our waterfalls because you can actually walk behind the thundering water on a rough path used by sheep farmers. Cool beans. I want to do that.
Very good. Who wants to read next? I'll go ahead and read one more. So whoever wants to volunteer on the next one, I'll do this one and then we'll get some more volunteers. So very good, Joetta. Thank you. All right,
My
Wales
pleasure.
Coast Path. Wales is one of the only countries in the world where visitors can walk the entire coastline along way-marked trails. The Wales Coast Path provides a continuous walking route of 1,392 kilometers along the whole of the Welsh coastline and links with the Offa's Dyke Path along the Wales-England border, making it possible to walk all around Wales. A total distance of 1,600 kilometers, 994 miles. To celebrate its opening, Lonely Planet's Best in Travel 2012 publication awarded coastal Wales as the greatest region on earth to visit, and it's still as beautiful today. Lovers of wildlife should look out for the gray seals and dolphins near the shore. Seabirds such as puffins and cormorants and wading birds in the estuaries or whatever. Taking a look at some of the best routes along the path, and our operator search lists a selection of walking operators.
Bucket list.
All right. You want to do the next one? Anybody? Nature
Don't be
reserves
shy.
are the finest examples of wildlife habitats and geological features. There are 70 of them in Wales. Like the landscape of Wales, they are very varied. Here's 3 examples. South Stack Cliffs on Anglesey, where visitors can enjoy a close-up view onto a wonderful cliffside nesting colony. With binoculars and telescopes, plus live television provided to watch guillemots, razorbills, and puffins, all raising their young. Rare choughs, I don't know, can also be seen on the reserve. Kenfig Dunes near Port Cal cover the site of an ancient town and castle. The rare fen orchid is found there, and there are hides for bird watching. Guided walks around the reserve can be arranged. Berwyn National Nature Reserve near Langolin is a vast area of upland moorland covered with heather. Many birds breed here, including grouse and birds of prey, including the rare peregrine falcon. Do, 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 do. All right. Farming. Farming is an important industry in Wales. It's mainly sheep and cattle farming, which produces wonderful Welsh lamb and Welsh black beef. There are over 1,000 organic farms in Wales, ranging from small holdings to large estates, and 8% of the total land area is managed organically. Farming communities are the very heartland of Wales. Many Welsh farms offer a range of visitor accommodation, from bed and breakfast to camping. Farm stays are a great way of experiencing rural life, and some farms have diversified into popular attractions perfect for families. Local agricultural shows are held throughout Wales, the biggest being the Royal Welsh Agricultural Show, held in July each year. That's probably a test question. A key week in the Welsh farming calendar, and a great day out for visitors. For more ideas to experience rural life, take a look at our fact file. All right, next. The wildlife. Wales is home to a number of rare plants and animals. The fen orchid grows in areas of sand dunes. 95% of the British population of this rare little flower are found in Wales. The Snowdon lily lives on the cliffs of Snowdonia. The next nearest site where it can be found is in the Alps. The Tenby daffodil is a distinct species of this well-loved flower, the true Welsh daffodil and the emblem of Wales. The Welsh poppy, this bright yellow flower, is a true native of Wales. Also, did you know scientists have claimed that bottlenose dolphins in Cardigan Bay talk to each other in their own dialect, unique to Wales? All right, the red kite, which is beautiful chestnut plumage and distinctive forked tail, have been saved from extinction by conservation work in mid-Wales. These graceful birds in flight are an unforgettable sight. The red kite had almost disappeared from Britain. Luckily, a few pairs of birds survived in the mountains of mid-Wales, and thanks to the efforts of conservation organizations and local farmers, mid-Wales is now a stronghold for this beautiful bird of prey. To be sure of seeing the kite, visit one of the area's kite feeding stations. As the only significant colony of bottlenose dolphins on the west coast of Britain, these graceful and intelligent creatures can be found in Cardigan Bay. The Marine Wildlife Centre of New Quay in West Wales monitors the local dolphin population along the Ceredigion coast and is involved with marine environmental studies. Observations of dolphins are carried out from the land and offshore. Once common in Wales, the red squirrel population declined dramatically following the arrival of its bigger cousin, the gray squirrel. However, the Anglesey Red Squirrel Project is working to remove gray squirrels from the island and establish new woodlands to create a long-term refuge for the reds. Isn't that sweet? Ain't that precious?
That is.
All right, this is nature and environment and cities. Visitors who want to limit their carbon footprint can choose accommodations and places to eat out that are run by people who share their love of nature and concern for protecting the environment. Yurts and Tippis offer camping in style and comfort, and eco-friendly Welsh hotels powered from renewable energy sources. Use the accommodation search to filter your results by awards to find your green destination. There are a range of eco attractions to enjoy in Wales, including Greenwood Forest Park in the UK's only eco adventure park, The award-winning family attraction in Snowdonia has received international acclaim for the eco-friendly technology behind its Green Dragon roller coaster. 2016 saw the opening of its new fully solar power action ride, Solar Splash. The Center for Alternative Technology, CAT, is this in the Snowdonia National Park, is one of the world's most renowned eco-centres, featuring interactive displays and practical examples of sustainable living and renewable energy and organic gardening. Coed Hills is Wales' leading venue for art in the environment, featuring an 80-acre woodland sculpture trail. Volunteering Holidays gives the opportunity for visitors to get actively involved in conservation projects across Wales. For example, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds offers residential volunteering for anyone who wishes to try something new. There are many RSVP sites around Wales offering work such as managing a nature reserve as well as practical conservation. The National Trust offers a wide range of working holidays are available, from short breaks to volunteering holidays for families. Some of the activities can be done while volunteering, including gardening, looking after historic houses, surveys, as well as rural skills and archaeology. All right, I think we're almost done. Then we take a test. All right. Boop, 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 boop. Wales, urban Wales. Wales' vibrant towns and cities provide visitors with a wide range of excellent restaurants, world-class shopping, and top-class entertainment. A compact city and easy to explore on foot with rich history and eclectic culture, Cardiff is the perfect holiday destination for families, couples, and groups. The capital of Wales is a thriving city just 2 hours by train from London, from luxurious five-star hotels, cozy guest houses, to rooms on a budget. Cardiff has plenty of choice, and most hotels and B&Bs are only a short walk from the city's major visitors' attractions, shops, and train station. Cardiff has a growing reputation for food, including fine dining and a thriving street food scene, as well as local Welsh flavors. Cardiff has some of Wales and the UK's best international restaurants, cozy traditional pubs, funky bars, and great nightclubs. All give Cardiff a social scene that is world-renowned. Cardiff is one of the UK's top shopping destinations. Designer brands, major chains, and dozens of independent shops and boutiques in the city's network of Victorian and Edwardian arcades have helped to build Cardiff's reputation. With magnificent Edwardian civic buildings and the eccentric Cardiff Castle in the center of the city, architecture fans are spoilt for choice. The National Museum of Cardiff, home to one of the finest Impressionist collections outside of Paris, features works by Renoir, Monet, and Pissarro. Audio tours are available in various languages. The city's most iconic performing arts venue is the Wales Millennium Centre in Cardiff Bay, which serves as a home to the Welsh National Opera and the BBC National Orchestra of Wales. The venue is also host to touring, West End musicals and touring productions, and holds free lunchtime concerts in the foyer. Backstage tours are available either on the day or pre-booked. Cardiff has built on its reputation as a world-class center for international sport over recent years. The city has been the passionate home of Welsh rugby for more than a century, housed in the iconic Principalities Stadium in the city center. It is also the regular venue for the British Speedway Grand Prix and has hosted special stages of the Wales Rally GB and host of the 2017 UEFA Champions League final. The Principality Stadium backstage tour gives you the opportunity to walk the footsteps of Wales rugby heroes, from seeing the home team dressing room to walking down the players' tunnel towards the pitch to the cheers of 74,500 capacity crowd. The old Cardiff docklands have been redeveloped to create Cardiff Bay, home to the large freshwater lake for sailing and water sports. Mermaid Quay is a restaurant hotspot with everything from Caribbean to Turkish cuisine. The bay is home to exciting attractions and host events throughout the year.
I can read the next one, Money, give you a
Perfect,
break.
thank you, thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome. I'll do the last ones.
All right, we have two more. All right, Swansea.
Swansea sits on the 5-mile sweep of Swansea Bay and an ideal base for exploring Southwest Wales. There's also much on offer for visitors in Swansea itself. While Swansea has a long history, it has also evolved rapidly in recent years. The city center has extended seaward into the award-winning Marina and Maritime Corridor, where visitors will find attractions including the National Waterfront Museum, Swansea Museum, the Dylan Thomas Center, and the Elsie Leisure Complex and Water Park. Swansea Market is the largest indoor market in Wales, where visitors can sample and buy local delicacies such as cockles, locally caught fresh fish, and locally reared meat, laver bread, sample the freshly made traditional Welsh cakes cooked on a griddle in front of you. Swansea is well known for its vibrant nightlife with a wide range of clubs, bars, and restaurants to suit every age and taste. There are over 90 places to eat and drink, including family-friendly cafes, bistro restaurants, and modern cafe bars. The Wind Street area is a modern cafe quarter by day, and by night it's the liveliest street in the city. Swansea's Liberty Stadium is home to Premier League football club Swansea City FC, the first non-English football club in the Premier League, and the Ospreys rugby team. Stadium tours are available, offering discounts for large groups. Wales' most famous writer, Dylan Thomas, was born in Swansea, and many of his best poems and stories were inspired by his hometown. The Dylan Thomas Center is one of Wales' oldest museums and has a permanent exhibition about the writer. Every autumn, the center hosts the Dylan Thomas Festival. He was born at 5 Donkin Drive, which is open to visitors and offers a fascinating insight into everyday family life in early 20th century. Just 4 miles from Swansea City Center is the charming seaside village of Mumbles, which offers galleries and boutiques, snug cafes, and fine dining. The Gower Peninsula, Britain's first designated area of outstanding natural beauty, famous for its coastline and beaches, is close by. Star attraction is Rossili and its 3-mile stretch of gleaming white sand, complete with the remains of a 19th century shipwreck.
You. Last one, guys.
Loading, loading. Oh, I thought that was my brain loading.
All right, Newport.
Newport. There are dozens of places in the world called Newport. 2 of them in Wales, confusingly, but only one of them has hosted the Ryder Cup and held the NATO Summit. Standing at the gateway between England and Wales, Newport is the 3rd largest city in Wales and is steeped in a rich industrial heritage. You can walk from one end of Newport's compact city center to the other in little more than 10 minutes, or a lot longer if you stop at the Cathedral Museum, Art Gallery, and traditional covered market. The town became known for its accessible modern docks. Trade flourished, and further extension of the docks added to Newport's reputation. In the 1900s, Newport shipped over 6 million tons of coal per year. The Newport Transporter Bridge crosses the River Usk at this point, a type of movable bridge that carries a segment of roadway across a river. It was designed by French engineer Ferdinand Arnaudin and built in 1906. Only 7 others remain in use worldwide. The Celtic Manor Resort on the outskirts of Newport hosted the 2010 Ryder Cup and the Celtic Manor Resort, and put golf in Wales on a global stage. This award-winning resort set in 2,000 acres of parkland in the Usk Valley. It comprises a 5-star hotel and a historic 19th century manor house. There is the award-winning Forum Spa, as well as 6 restaurants and 3 championship golf courses. There are 2 adventure golf courses and the Treetop Adventure Course for us. Jump. It has a convention center, an exhibition hall, 31 function rooms, and 5 restaurants. The resort has now added luxury lodges to its selection of accommodation, perfect for large families and groups. The riverfront is at the heart of the arts and entertainment scene in Newport and presents a wide-ranging live performance program, a popular venue for rock music, films, and visual art exhibitions. Newport and the surrounding area boasts quality restaurants and a wide variety of cuisines, including some nationally recognized award-winning venues. On the outskirts of the city is Tredegar House, one of the best examples of a 17th century Charles II mansion in Britain, set in a beautiful 90-acre park. At the edge of the city is the Newport Wetlands Reserve, over 438 hectares of reed beds, salines, lagoons, wet grassland, and scrub, which attracted a wealth of wetland birds. The reserve is also an excellent place to see orchids, butterflies, dragonflies, and otters.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So lesson completed. Okay. So do we take the test, you guys? Did we miss it? Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back to home. Sorry, don't want to get too far out. You have to hit the Experience Britain Assessment tab. Okay, so let's see. Just want to make sure, guys. Oh my gosh. All right, in progress. So we just finished this and then we take the test. Is that correct, guys? There's the assessment. Yeah. And then assessment. Britain. So we did so we maybe take this, and then Wales, we do this and then take the Wales assessment. Is that correct?
I think so.
That's what it looks like. Okay, so let's do this test quick and then we'll finish Wales and take the Wales assessment, and then we'll do Northern England. Got it?
Sounds good.
Okay. We don't want to get too far out of Britain and into Wales and not take the test. All right.
And don't confuse the two. They're very finicky
Right.
there.
Now you have found a little more. Let's go ahead and get an 80% or more, guys. Get your thinking caps on. The first ever chocolate bar was made in Bristol, but in what year?
I'm not there
1847.
yet. I'm still waiting for everything to load.
Okay. Also, guys, does everybody have this same question?
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Still waiting.
I do.
Yeah, waiting
You're
for mine to load.
We're being timed on this one, Marnie.
I see that. So we gotta
Loved it.
hurry up.
But the answer to that first one's 1847.
Thank you. I was gonna guess that. All right, so 1847, when you guys get up, don't worry, we will catch up with you. Where is Britain's most famous flower show organized by the horticulture?
Chelsea?
You got different questions, Ryan?
I do.
Okay. All right, so take pictures because we'll get to your question, okay? All right, we'll try Chelsea.
Chelsea. It's Chelsea.
Okay, next. What major sporting event is being hosted in England and Wales in 2019? Was that the cricket one?
Cricket.
Cricket.
My test is different.
I know, but we'll get to your questions probably. So just take pictures of the questions because we'll probably get to your questions. How many travel zones are there in London which can be assessed with a visitor Oyster card? Wasn't it 9?
Nine.
It was 9.
Okay, 9 card. What are the Lost Gardens of Heligen? Cornwall?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. How many national parks does Britain have? Is it 15? Okay, what city is this setting for many of Jane Austen's books?
Bath.
That, come on. Sorry, my mouse isn't working. Oh my gosh, guys. Where in London would you find Harrods?
Knightsbridge.
Thank you. Where would you find the Warner Brothers studio and Harry Potter?
London,
London.
Which of these British traditions would you recommend to your clients?
Afternoon tea.
What is the furthest distance you will travel to find a beach in Britain?
300 kilometers.
No, it was 70 miles, I think, or 50,
Okay, I'll have to redo that one.
50
Which
miles,
food
70
is
kilometers.
most associated with the Wimbledon Lawn Tennis Championship?
Strawberries.
Are your questions coming up, guys? Where would visitors be able to experience a newly restored Victorian Turkish bath and health spa?
Harrogate.
How many languages are estimated to be spoken in London?
300.
Which city is the world's first UNESCO City of Film? Aberdeen or Bristol?
I think it's Bristol.
Bradford.
Maybe. Yeah. I knew it started with a B.
By proceeding, you won't be able to go back and edit your answers. Are we okay? Did you guys get all your questions answered? If not, what questions do you need? Should we hit finish?
I'll tell you in a minute because mine,
Want to go back real quick? We want to retake that one, right? That you said 70 miles or something? Come on.
I think it was 50 miles because it's 70 kilometers and
No, it's not. Let me go back. All right, well, let's. Oh, there. Okay. Oops, I didn't want to take it over. What the heck?
Just hit the back arrow, Marnie. I did the same thing.
I did.
No, that one is the first one.
I can't see.
Harrogate? I'm
Yeah.
trying to go back.
How many travel zones are there in London for the visitor Oyster card?
300, was it? No, that's languages.
Nine.
Nine.
9?
9.
Come on.
the one for Harry Potter, do you remember?
London?
It was London.
Lord, London? I think.
Oh, well, I guess I have to just do this again. So this is Harrogate.
Yeah.
Okay, 9. The setting for the,
Yeah.
what is this? Bath?
Mm,
Knightsbridge.
Bridge?
Strawberries. This one's the Cornwall. That one's Cricket.
Cricket.
$15.
Where's the setting for Jane Austen's books?
Bath.
But
That one's
Afternoon tea.
afternoon tea. That one's Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Which city is in this
which
one?
one is the one the
Bradford.
most famous
How
flower?
many?
What was that, guys?
Oh, man.
No, it's, the most
1847.
famous flower is
1847.
Chelsea, right?
What is it?
300. And that one's 110.
Where's the Harrods?
Harrods, What are the, what are the,
Knightsbridge.
Where?
Knightsbridge.
Thank you.
I gotta retake it again. I
I
ran out
had
of
to
time.
take it too.
you have already passed this lesson. Okay.
I hit the wrong button.
Okay, what about the Turkish baths?
Oh my God, I hit the wrong
What's the
button.
options?
That's the Harrogate.
What?
Harrogate,
Uh-huh.
Harrogate,
How many national parks are there?
15.
15.
The
Do you know
Turkish,
which
Victorian Turkish baths are Harrogate, Cheltenham,
It's the first one.
Harrogate.
Harrogate. Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Ivan,
and
what
the
do
one
you
of
have?
UNESCO city? You know, which city is the world's first UNESCO city of film? This
Bradford.
Bradford, Bristol, or Aberdeen? Bradford? Thanks.
Uh-huh.
When was the first ever chocolate bar made?
47.
1847.
Which one?
1847.
1847. Okay, thank you.
Okay, did everybody pass?
Not yet.
Ask away. Let's answer those questions.
Where was the famous flower show?
What are the options?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. The Harrods in London, that was in Chelsea as well, right?
No, Harrogate.
Where in
I
London
don't
would
have
you
that
find
one.
Harrods? That's Knightsbridge, right?
Wait, which one?
Where in London would you find Harrods?
Knightsbridge.
And then the chocolate was 1847?
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
The first UNESCO city of film was where?
Bradford.
Aw,
Oh, sorry, guys.
No,
that's okay.
no worries.
Where do you find the Warner Brothers studio tour for the home of Harry Potter?
London.
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 Oh, sorry.
I passed. Yay.
You done? You passed? Yay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, everybody good?
I'm almost
I'm
there.
not
Hold
there
on.
yet. Mine's
The
extremely
visitor
slow.
oyster.
Oops, oops, say it again, sorry. Sorry, unmute yourself.
Whoops. The travel zones for the visitor oyster card, that was 9, right?
Fine, correct.
Where was the flower show?
What is it?
The flower show. That was Chelsea, right?
Chelsea, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The
Anybody
Turkish
else?
bath and health spa, that was in Bath.
Which one was that?
The Turkish bath and health spa.
What's his options?
It's
Harrogate.
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 Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to go quickly.
Okay, done. I passed. I got 100.
Yay.
All
I'll be
right,
right back.
we good? Everybody pass? Ryan, did you pass?
I have a couple left.
Okay,
Where's the Jane Austen books?
Bath.
It was where?
Bath.
Bath.
Okay. Oh, baby. The Lost Gardens of Hilligan.
The Lost Gardens.
Helligan,
What's the options?
Devon, Cornwall, Dorset, Somerset.
Hmm.
The Lost Garden is the Cornwall.
Cornwall, okay. I have one more. And the major sporting events held in
Is
England
cricket.
and Wales.
Cricket.
Cricket. Woo, thank you.
Cricket. Yay. We good? Congratulations. See, isn't it fun doing it together? All right, we'll finish Wales and then I'll put that. So next month we may be doing catch up. Oh my gosh, national parks. Did we go through this already? National parks, we did, right? Did we do national parks, guys? No.
No.
Or did we? Did we? No?
No, I think we don't.
Okay,
Which
national
test
parks
did
in
y'all
Wales.
I'm sorry. Which test did y'all just take?
We took the Britain one, the first one.
The first one?
Yep.
National parks in Wales.
Experience
it,
Britain? Okay.
Joetta, didn't we read some of Wales already?
Yeah.
Which one? Where did we get to?
I remember this one, the national parks. I remember it because it's just about a park of 385 square
Lakes and
miles.
waterfalls. The Loch Ness Monster, did we get through that?
No.
All right, we'll start with the Wales coast. Okay, so we did the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yes.
the bog snorkeling, I remember that.
And the lakes and waterfalls, we did it too.
We did this also? Okay.
Yeah. The one talks about the Niagara.
All right, Bianca, if you need help with the test, just put the questions in the chat. We will help you with that. All right, Wales Coast Path. Wales is one of the only countries in the world where visitors can walk. Oh, we did this one too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Gray seals, okay. Yeah, we want to hurry up and get done with this so we can take this test too. Lovers of wildlife, they have the otters. All right, nature reserves. I think we did this one too, right? Peregrine falcon. Yeah, the puffins raising their young. Okay, and then we saw this, the farming.
Yes,
That's
all that.
stopped. Okay. Cool, almost done, guys. Then we'll do another test. All right, the wildlife. I thought we did this too. Yep, because we did the red squirrel. All right, and then we did this. Eco-friendly. All right, urban Wales. I think that we started this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we do it or did we just start it?
I think we finished 11.
Finished it. Turkish cuisine. Okay. The stadium to the rugby. Yeah, running through the tunnels. And then Swansea. She started reading this, right? Dang, did we finish all this already?
Yeah,
think
yeah, we
so.
did.
All right, and Newport, did we finish this one?
Yep,
Okay.
'cause that's all the stuff I was reading.
All right. Yeah, then, oh, and then activities. Very good. Okay, that's where we ended. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, national parks, 3 national parks, makes it perfect environment for sports and activities. Visitors can choose from walking, climbing, top class mountain biking, exhilarating adventure sports such as wakeboarding, coastering, canyoning, surfing. The Welsh landscape is one of hills and mountains. If you could roll out of Wales flat, it would be as big as Texas. No matter where you are in Wales, even the cities, you're never far from the range of mountains, rivers, and coast. All right, walking. Wales boasts very different national trails. As you can see, all these ones, plus over 30 regional long distance route, 30 of them. The Cistercian Way offers a real challenge. It's a trail that takes you full circle. Which one takes you full circle? The Cistercian, okay? Wales Coast Path is equally challenging, a route of 864 miles following the coastline from Chester in the north to Chepstow in the south. For those seeking further adventure, the Wales Coast Path can be combined with Offa's Dyke Path along the Wales-England border for a walk around the edge of Wales. The distance of 994 miles, and it takes around 80, remember kilometers in case we have that test, okay? 80 days to complete. The same time it took Jules Verne's hero Phileas Fogg to get around the world. Through the course, he wasn't on foot. Short distance, shorter walks throughout Wales are available too, and a selection can be found here. Once in Wales, local tourist information centers are a good source of information, and walking guides can be purchased. Packaged holidays and guided walks. A variety of tour operators offer packaged holidays, guided walks that allow visitors to relax and enjoy the scenery, confident that their bags are being transported to their overnight accommodation, where a hot shower and good meal await. With an emphasis on local knowledge, tailor-made escorted and self-guided walks available through Wales. Insider tip, walking the ascents and descents of the Pembrokeshire Coast Path is the equivalent of climbing Mount Everest, but without the danger of altitude sickness. Guys, remember when you do these tests and stuff, stick with it because you get a lot of bonus promotions and stuff sent to you, okay? All right, family cycling. Wales has 530 kilometers, 330 miles of traffic-free rides, perfect for families and children. Some examples are the Maldritch Trail, 8 miles. Disused Railway follows the spectacular Maldritch Estuary from that to Barmouth across the wooden railway bridge. Bikes can be hired in Dolgala. The Elan Valley Trail, 14 kilometers. The route passes the Elan Valley Reservoir, a string of 4 narrow lakes which boast some of the most beautiful dams in the whole of the country. Millennium Coastal Park, Lianol. Coastal promenade above the beach with view across the Gower Peninsula. Bikes can be hired at both ends of the trail. Long distance cycle routes. Wales has 1,920 kilometers of cycle paths in the National Cycle Network. The Celtic Trail, 352 kilometers, 218 miles from Fishguard to Chepstow. The route starts with undulating lanes with a few climbs through Pembrokeshire and Carmarthenshire. An optional off-road section between Neath and Pontypridd climbs to 600 millimeters. Miles, whatever. The final section from Trelewis to Chepstow is largely downhill or flat on railway paths, towpaths, and quiet lanes. This from Holyhead to Cardiff, Chepstow, the trail heads inland as it travels south. Snowdonia National Park's dramatic descents are one of the most spectacular sections. After Mackinac comes woodland, superb wildlife and villages at Glassbury Village. The trail forks to the Brecon Beacons to finish in Cardiff or continues on to Abergavenny, Monmouthshire, and Chepstow. Boy, woo. Okay, golf. 2010 Ryder Cup at the Celtic Manor Resort near Newport put golf in Wales on a global stage. There are 202 golf courses in Wales, 40 of them links courses. Courses are often in scenic surroundings. Some, like Royal St. David at Harlech, are in the shadow of a castle. Golf in Wales offers good value for money. A typical round of golf costs around 40 euros. The Senior Open Championship presented by Rolex became the first major championship, remember that probably, to be held in Wales when it hosted by Royal Porthcawl Golf Club. South Wales from July 24th to 27th, 2014. It returned in 2017. When did it return? 2017. Welcoming leading golfers from the Senior Tour back to Wales. We hope all golfers like a challenge. A game at Royal Porthcawl Golf Club is rarely played without a wind. In 1990, the wind was so strong it blew the professionals' shop away. The remains were found in the car park the next morning. Neptune District Golf Club has been compared with playing on the deck of an aircraft carrier. You can see the sea from every tee of the course. All right. Come on. The mountains of Snowdonia and Mid Wales and the sea cliffs of North Wales, Pembrokeshire, and the Gower between them provide unsurpassable rock climbing, abseiling, and coastering. Underground, the caving opportunities are also world-class. The southern part of the Beacons National Park in Wales is perfect for caving, full of caverns, potholes, and passages, including the biggest cave entrance in South Wales and the largest cave passage in the United Kingdom. Ogof Drainan in South Wales is one of the world's top caving sites with over 65 kilometers of passages. Snowdonia offers for visitors a chance to explore former slate mines, crossing zip lines, climbing rock faces and waterfalls, boating across forgotten lakes, and abseiling off ledges. Mount Snowdon at 1,085 whatever are in the highest peak of Wales, but it is accessible to all. For properly equipped walkers, there are 6 main routes to the top. The Llanberis path is the longest and most gradual path, with a return trip taking between 5 and 6 hours. Ensure you wear suitable footwear and clothing, and take water, a map, and waterproof with you. Those who prefer a more relaxing ascent can take the Snowdon Mountain Railway from Llanberis Station. The railway has been carrying visitors up the mountain since 1896. A round trip takes 2.5 hours. Whichever way visitors arrive at the summit on a clear day, they are rewarded with a panoramic view across the national park, sometimes as far as Ireland, and refreshments at the Hafford. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Was it?
What is it?
It's Erie.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
On
I can help you.
Snowdon,
I'll read some.
Snowdon visitors can ascend by one route and descend by another if they like. The Snowdon Sherpa buses travel around the base of Snowdon, connecting all 6 main footpaths and surrounding villages.
I'll read some, Monty.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Surfing. The coast of Wales provides top surfing spots suitable for everyone from beginners to world-class professionals. There are plenty of great beaches on which to get to grips with the waves. From Llangennet and Newgale in the south to Howell's Mouth and Whistling Sands in the north, and most good beaches have surf schools close by. For something a bit different, Surf Snowdonia is the world's first inland surfing lagoon, with waves ranging from 2M to 0.5 M for beginners and a 300 M long lagoon, and an ideal place to finally get round to learning to surf. Or if you're an accomplished surfer, a chance to experience something new. Windsurfers. Windsurfers too will find excellent conditions all around Wales. Wales is also perfect for kite surfing, with the top location being Rosnegar on Anglesey. Diving and snorkeling. Some of the best diving and snorkeling in Britain is found in Wales, especially around Pembrokeshire, where the Marine Nature Reserve, Ascomer Island, is a major attraction for divers. Some of the finest sea kayaking in Europe lies off the coast of North Wales and Pembrokeshire. And there's wild whitewater kayaking on rivers like the Tryweryn and Dee, which are also good spots for rafting. Coastering is a mixture of swimming, climbing, scrambling, and traversing the coastline, including jumping into the sea from height when it is safe to do so. Exploring areas of the coast never normally seen. Coastering was first developed on the Pembrokeshire coastline in the 1990s and is now hugely popular. There are a number of companies offering coastering experiences on the rocky coast of Pembrokeshire, the Gower Peninsula near Swansea, and Anglesey. Cardiff International Whitewater Rafting Center. Cardiff International Whitewater Rafting Center is in the International Sports Village in Cardiff Bay, easily accessible from Cardiff City Center. Experienced coaches provide tuition and support to everyone from first-timers, including family groups, to those who just require a few top trips. Canoeing, kayaking, and paddleboarding. Canoeing, kayaking, and paddleboarding along the river can be a tranquil way of seeing the countryside and getting close to wildlife. The River Wye, which forms the Brecon Beacons National Park's boundary at Hay on Wye, is superb for canoeists, both beginners and experts. A number of companies offer canoe hire service and or guided trips with qualified staff, together with friendly advice and information for traveling down the River Wye.
Very good. All right,
Loading
Pamela,
here.
we'll get to that in a minute. You start at Britain, and now we're on the Wales one. All right, this is adventure.
Okay, now we're doing ear.
Yep.
Okay, Wales and the Welsh borders are the ideal locations for learning to hang glide or paraglide, then soaring through the air for 100 kilometers or more, enjoying fantastic views of the green hills and valleys, the hills above Rossall Bay on the Gower Peninsula near Swansea, and Hay Bluff in the Brecon Beacons are popular locations for hang gliding and paragliding. The largest zip wire experience in the Northern Hemisphere has just opened near Bangor in North Wales, in the world's largest former slate quarry. At 213 meters above a mountain lake with panoramic views over Snowdonia, visitors can fly through skies on a zip wire at speeds up to 100 kilometers an hour. Zip World Titan at Lechwed Slate Caverns near the historic mining town of Blaenau Festiniog is the first four-person zip line in Europe and is the longest in the world.
Okay, we're almost done,
Biking.
guys. Mountain biking.
According to the International Mountain Biking Association, the Welsh centers like Coed Brennan near Nogdello and Nant Arian near Aberystwyth are some of the best new trails in the world. Wales boasts 6 purpose-built mountain biking centers at 8 bases. Coed Brennan near Nogdello was the first forest center to be developed for the sport of mountain biking and still retains its reputation as the sport's premier location. 2008 saw the expansion of the trails as well as the opening of a brand new visitor center. Afton Forest near Swansea is the fastest growing mountain bike area in Britain. It has 4 superb trails and over 96 kilometers of all-weather single track, more than any other center in Wales. Brecfa Forest Center has recently opened an extra-only route, combining plunging descents with the more traditional narrow woodland single tracks.
Okay, next.
Something completely different. The smallest town in Britain, Llanwrtyd, Wells, in the heart of Wales, near Bullet, Wells, north of the Brecon Beacons, is the home of a range of wacky events. Bog snorkeling was invented in Llanwrtyd, Wales, and it hosts the annual World Championships every August. Competitors are required to put on a mask or goggles, snorkel and flippers, and snorkel 2 lengths of a specially dug out trench in a peat bog. Man versus horse has been an annual event since 1980. Runners compete with horse riders over a course of 35 kilometers of rough terrain. A runner beat a horse for the first time in 2004. Wow. In 2012, Llanwrtyd hosted its own version of the Olympic Games, replacing the usual events with a variety of very different ones, including worm charming, chariot racing, and wife carrying championships. The festivities were joined by visiting friends from France who introduced a French cockerel throwing competition and French cheese rolling. The whole event was so successful, it is repeated every other year.
Yay.
Yay.
How many more do we have? Okay, food and drink. Anybody else want to read? Hopefully we can finish this quickly. Oh, 14. I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm here with you.
All right. So I'll start here. Taste of Wales, Welsh food and drink is a secret worth sharing. Welsh food has long established reputation for distinctiveness and quality and prides itself on supplying some of the finest produce. Its very landscape reflects freshness and variety. Welsh tradition specialties. Wales offers the best in sophisticated modern cuisine, but also it's always good to try some of the traditional dishes which Welsh people have cooked and enjoyed through the centuries. Laverbread is edible seaweed commonly found on the southwest coast of the Wales. It is mixed with fine oatmeal formed into small cakes and fried in bacon fat and is usually eaten for breakfast. Very low cal. No. Welsh cakes are a tradition Welsh snack, somewhat similar to a scone. Traditionally, they are cooked on bakestone, a cast iron griddle, which is placed on the fire or cooker. Bara brith, which literally translated means speckled bread, is deliciously spiced, honey glazed fruit bread, still produced all over Wales. Like Welsh cakes, it is best enjoyed with morning coffee or tea. Welsh rarebit gets its name quite literally from the words rare, meaning very lightly cooked, and bit, a small piece or portion. It is ideally hot snack made with a savory sauce of melted cheese with beer seasoned with mustard poured over slices of toasted bread. That sounds kind of yummy. Crempog are Welsh pancakes. They are made not too thin and served hot and buttered. The fillings may be sweet or savory. Savory crempog, hot and fresh, make an excellent starter. Glamorgan sausages are made mainly from grated cheese mixed with breadcrumbs, herbs, and chopped leeks or onions. They are often served as a starter in Welsh pubs and restaurants. And cawl is a rich stew made with bacon, Welsh lamb, vegetables, including Wales' emblem, the leek. Well, sound kind of yummy, huh? Especially if you're ready for dinner or lunch, huh?
Yes.
Eating out in Wales. Restaurants throughout Wales. There are a variety of excellent restaurants, many of them dedicated to using the best local produce to create their menus. These are just a few of the top restaurants. Walnut Tree has a Michelin star and assured cooking in relaxed settings. Waipulin in the countryside is a small country pub, 2 AA rosettes and an Egon Rone star. The menus feature finest seasonal and local produce in a relaxed environment. And Tidin Leon is a Georgian country house ran by a husband and wife team. Brian's skilled and inspiring cooking has earned them a Michelin star, highest Welsh rating in the Good Food Guide. Very cool. That'd be a nice little thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Talking to the inner chef over here.
Huh?
Talking to the chef over here.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
In Wales, visitors can follow an excellent dinner with a restful night's sleep by staying in one of our restaurants with rooms. These are some award-winning examples. The Crown at Whitebrook Restaurant and Hotel offers 8 luxurious bedrooms, a stylish, comfortable restaurant, and has often been lovingly described as a romantic auberge. I hope that right. The Grove of Narberth is a privately owned luxury country house hotel nestled in the heart of the rolling Pembrokeshire countryside. The 3AA Rosette restaurant features the best of Pembrokeshire produce from land and sea, together with fabulous vegetables and herbs from their kitchen gardens. Gwesty Summary, offers the experience of a stay which is full of Welsh tradition and culture mixed with contemporary luxuries. The restaurant offers a delicious range of dishes served with Welsh twist. Next. All right. Pubs are institution in Wales, a place to taste great Welsh beer and to meet the locals. The pubs are in every town and villages, but here are a few suggestions. The Ale House is great, friendly real ale pub in Conwy, unique in the UK, possibly the world, ran as a joint venture between 4 North Wales breweries. That may be a test: Conwy, Great Orme, Nant, and Purple Moose. The Bridge End Inn in Rubabon was the campaign for real ales and has been awarded Pub of the Year. Next, tea rooms. An afternoon tea and a tiny sandwiches, savory scones and cakes such as Welsh cakes and barbreath, served with tea in a Bona China cups, is a real treat that can be enjoyed in tea rooms across Wales. The Angel Hotel in Abergavenny has an award of excellence from the UK Tea Guild, the Oscar of the tea world. Angel Hotel, Abergavenny. Previous winners of the Tea Guild's prestigious Top City and Country Hotel Tea World Tea Award. The Angel serves an excellent afternoon tea. Choose from an extensive variety of teas served with perfect sandwiches, scones, delicious cakes, and pastries. Glillough's Country House Hotel afternoon tea has become something of a local institution in Glillough's Country Hotel. The luxurious Victorian hotel located in the beautiful Brecon Beacons is the ideal setting to enjoy mouth-watering cakes, homemade cakes, and generous filled sandwiches. Enjoy afternoon tea delights al fresco on the sunny terrace or sit by the fire in a chilly. Glillough serve their tea buffet style. So you help yourself from the selections of scones, sandwiches, and cakes, and then come back for more if you want. And then the Times Pass praised Bodysglen Hall for having one of the top 10 afternoon teas in Britain. The tea includes a fantastic selection of sandwiches made from Welsh ingredients, barbreath, scones, and variety of cakes, run and owned by the National Trust. Bodysglen Hall is surrounded by 200 acres of place, amazing natural beauty. It's a perfect place for peaceful pand, as we say in Wales. Whew.
After this one, Marnie, I'll go ahead and read a whole bunch
Thank
too.
you.
You're
All
welcome.
right,
We'll go ahead.
Cookery schools in Wales. Visitors interested in sharpening their own cookery skills take a course at one of the Wales cookery schools, led by chefs who love to cook, showcasing Welsh produce and share their enthusiasm know-how. The Chef's Room Fish and Cookery School in Blavan runs a wide range of courses, from an introduction to basic cooking skills to a popular course in Welsh Italian food fusion cooking. Angela Gray's Cookery School offers a Lanark Vineyard range of courses and events, including full one-day courses, short taster courses, and cook start courses for young foodies, always promoting the importance of using local and seasonal ingredients whenever possible. And Bonanet Cookery School offers courses of half-day to weekend breaks to learn how to make delicious chocolates, desserts, and cooking with Welsh meat and fish. They run courses by leading Welsh culinary experts and by the guest Michelin-starred chefs and top Welsh chefs. Woo-hoo. All right, food and drink accommodations.
Okay, food festivals in Wales. Wales culinary calendar, which represents a celebration of the great flavors of Wales, has over 40 food festivals taking place throughout the year. Popular events include Pembrokeshire Fish Week, held in the last week of June, is a celebration of fresh local fish and iconic Welsh coastline and a captivating fishing heritage. Food lovers can enjoy lots of great tasting, sustainably produced fresh seafood all week, as well as cookery and filleting classes, workshops, and tutored tastings. There is a huge breadth of events, from cooking demonstrations to marine fun days, coastal foraging, learn to fish events, seashore picnics, and much more. Abergavenny Food Festival, which takes place over the third weekend each September, with over 200 specialty food and drink producers and some of the most highly respected stars of the culinary world. Visitors can take part in masterclasses and food talks with top-class chefs and cookery writers, tutored tastings of good food and drink, and walks and forays to learn about the wild harvest of the field and hedgerow. Conwy Feast takes place over a weekend at the end of October, when 150 local food producers take over most of medieval town, as well as the carefully blended mix of chefs, food and cookery demonstrations, There is music and dance on stages all around the town. Mid Wales Bear Festival in Llanwort, Wales, Britain's smallest town and home to lots of quirky events. So it's not just any regular beer festival. It starts off with the Real Ale Wobble or on mountain bikes and culminates with the Real Ale Ramble on foot. The festival runs for 10 days at the end of November. Wow.
Very
I
good.
think I might as well plan a whole month's visit there.
All right.
Welsh produce. Okay, Wales, the true taste echt aan Warwishaken, met Adam das Beste, was das Land in section, Essen und Trinken so bianten hat, the word ben word. Bioshot her sulknak dem logo ashau halten, Sherfold ein klein Ashwal der one urban, Wellishahin Arzogones de Bashor waren Ears van Hals in Wales Gun van Conan. Beer cider wine and whiskey. At the last count, there were over 78 breweries in Wales, varying from brands. The biggest family-owned independent brewery in the UK to independent craft breweries. There's hardly an area in Wales that doesn't have a local brewery. Cider makers can also be found around Wales, such as award-winning Gwent, Drag, and Blendani cider. Wine in Wales is growing in popularity and reputation. Excellent Welsh wines are produced in our 20 vineyards. Many of them offer tours and wine tasting opportunities to visitors. An interesting example is Lanark Vineyard in the Vale of Glamorgan, which offers 5-star accommodations, a bistro, cafe, and bar, cookery school, and vineyard tours. Penderyn was Wales' first whiskey distillery and one of the smallest distilleries in the world. Here, the Welsh Whiskey Company produces Penderyn spirits such as Merlin liqueur, Brecon vodka, and Brecon gin. They have a visitor center and offer tours and whiskey tasting.
Very good. I'm sure glad you chose to read that one.
Yeah, the Welsh are very complicated compared to us English. Their language and everything is just off the charts, you know. They're just like, what? They're left field somewhere. Non-alcoholic drinks. And you think it's bad, and I'm Irish, you know, we speak Gaelic, you know, and I'm telling you that Welsh stuff is even worse than the Gaelic. Wales' natural bounty is being turned into a range of non-alcoholic drinks to refresh and delight. These range from healthy yogurt drinks to cordials and water. The emphasis is on natural, fresh ingredients. Examples are Brecon Carrig, still and sparkling water, and Welsh farmhouse apple juices, Agromont russet juice.
Good.
This is why I couldn't understand my father half the time when he was talking to me in Gaelic.
And guys, I
Local
appreciate you staying on, guys. And if you need to leave, this is being recorded, but hopefully we'll finish Wales today. So.
Okay, local produce markets. A great way to find out about food in Wales is to visit a local market. Many locations throughout Wales have farmers markets where you can buy food direct from producers. Swansea Food Market is the largest and most fascinating food market in Wales. It continues a tradition of trading that dates back to medieval times. Insider tips, Swansea Market is known worldwide as a great place to sample and buy panclad, cockles, and laverbread, a traditional Welsh delicacy made from seaweed. Locally caught fresh fish can also be bought here. Salt, honey, and more. Wales artisan producers are producing sauces, preserves, jams, honey, olive oil, condiments, flour, pickles, using high-quality ingredients and an individual farmhouse-style preparation. Examples are halal, mons, and glacé sea salt, said to be the choice of former US President Obama. In the honey produced at New Quay Honey Farm, Wales' largest hives, where visitors can enjoy a unique exhibition about the life of the honeybee and sample the honey in the tea room. Bakery, Wales, hundreds of small craft and major bakeries produce everything from fresh crusty bread and rolls to Welsh cakes and bar breast. They make it, bake it, and sell it daily, so freshness, quality, variety, and wholesomeness are assured. Visitors should look out for local bakeries on the high streets of our towns and cities. Confectionery. Wales has some excellent confectionaries too, from Barrow Valley's artisan chocolatier to Ella Riley's homemade toffees. Most welcome visitors, and they may be able to learn how to make chocolate while they're there. Cheese, some 1,550 billion liters of milk are produced in Wales each year, most of which goes into cheese production. We produce an astonishing range of cheeses, and our cheesemakers are constantly innovating multi-award winning Taffy farmhouse cheeses, Cause, Sonarth, Cause, Mend Lou, Watts Cause, and Hartford cheese are just a few examples. Many farm shops and supermarkets stock a wide range of locally produced cheeses, and visitors will find Welsh cheese platters on the menus of many pubs and restaurants. Fish. The seas around the shores of Wales contain some of what have been until recently Wales' best kept secrets: mussels, crab, lobster, prawns, and sea bass. Seaweed or sea trout is a Welsh specialty, and cockles from Penclod on the Gower Peninsula are famous. Meat. A third of Britain's sheep and nearly a quarter of its cows live in Wales. So it's not surprising that meat from Wales is really quite special. With mountains and valleys, rich green grass, and plentiful rain, Wales has a special and unique environment that has bred a long tradition of farming and produced meat with a worldwide reputation. A specialty is Welsh salt marsh lamb from sheep grazed on the wild grasses and herbs grown by the estuaries on the Gower Peninsula and near Port Marion in North Wales. Welsh black cattle have always been renowned for the superb eating quality of their meat. And increasingly, venison from Welsh farms is appearing on the menus of our top restaurants. Welsh produced chashware is adding sophistication and flavor to Wales' excellent range of produce, with Carmarthen ham a specialty.
You need a break?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yep. Farm shops. Farm shops have become a way of life across Wales, often selling straight food from the field with a passion for high quality and often organic food. Welsh growers and producers are proud to provide the personal touch, supervising their wares from shed to shopping bag to maintain freshness and flavor. Many pride themselves on old-fashioned customer service and know everything there is to know about their products, so customers can ask for their expert advice about how to choose and cook their cut of beef, of which wine to sip with their Welsh cheese. Sarrig Farm Shop and Grill, their Crossians in Carmarthenshire, is run by the Watkins family, who have farmed the area for generations. A highlight is a hearty meal at the grill using meat from their own farm. At Bodnett's Farm Shop, opened by HRH, the Prince of Wales, half of the produce sold is from North Wales alone, including, of course, food produced on the Bodnett estate, such as beef, cheese, and honey. They are very, very proud there about their food.
Very good.
It's very known the Welsh are very stuck up and snobbish, worse than us English are. They always blame it on us, it's more them. Wales offers a wide and varied range of visitor accommodation from international chain hotels in the city centers of Cardiff, Swansea, and Newport, to family-friendly hotels and B&Bs by the sea and in the countryside. Throughout Wales are hotels that cater for all budgets and group sizes. Wales also offers self-catering accommodation to meet the preference of all sorts of visitors, including cottages, lodges, caravans, yurts, and teepees. Insider tips: at Visit Wales Travel Trade, tour operators and travel agents can run a search to find travel trade facilities, which include whether or not commission net rates, group discounts, room unit allocations, free coach drive accommodations, packed lunches, and Wi-Fi are available.
All right.
Okay, loading the next one.
I'll do it. Wales is famous for its 641 castles, and some of them offer visitor accommodations. For example, Castle of Brecon Hotel, South Wales. The Castle of Brecon Hotels is an historic hotel of great charm and character. It opened first as a coaching inn in the late 18th century, becoming one of the first hotels in Wales in the early 19th century, occupying the site and remains of Brecon Castle close to the center of town. It stands between two rivers, commanding extensive views along the valley of the river Usk and up at the peaks of the Brecon Beacons. Privately owned and family run, it combines a friendly atmosphere with the efficient service and food of high quality. Ruthven Castle. The castle dates back to the legend of King Arthur and the notable owners, including King Henry VIII and Queen Elizabeth I. Ruthven Castle is a special hotel, but special in a friendly, comfortable way, rather than being grand, formal, and intimidating. Chateau Rianfa. Place Rianfa gazes out over the Manai Strait, completed in the 1850s. This is now a hotel called Chateau Rianfa, with 22 elegant bedrooms and 2 self-catering cottages. Here is more information about a castle accommodation in Wales. One more. All right, quirky accommodations. Here's some of the ideas for some real unusual accommodations, ranging from staying in a tent with a difference in old railway carriage, a lighthouse, or even the oldest house in Wales. Some examples below, and here are some suggestions for quirky accommodations. Gragan campsite, situated near Dalgala, with breathtaking views of the Madra Estuary, Snowdonia Mountains. Chosen by Cool Camping Wales Guide as one of the top 5 places to camp in Wales, and has won Green Snowdonian Award for the most sustainable campsite. Yurts, B&B, and holiday cottages also available. West Usk Lighthouse, quirky and cozy B&B accommodation located between Newport and Cardiff. A stone spiral staircase leads you to the wedge-shaped rooms. It's an ideal place to relax with its flotation tank, hot tub in the roof garden, and an infrared sauna. The lighthouse can be hired solely for groups. A 6-meter Mongolian yurt is also available for hire for courses, weddings, or self-catering. Druid Hotel.
Few brands have the strong recognition and reputation that Marriott.
Perched on Pembrokeshire cliff top, the Roundhouse is a tiny eco-college in the grounds of Druidstone Hotel, sleeping 2 to 4 people. It was Britain's first hotel room powered entirely by renewable energy. Port Marion, it's an Italian fantasy village on its own peninsula. The village is a top tourist attraction and includes a hotel, safe catering, cottages, restaurants, cafes, and shops. It's also famous for being the filming location of the cult TV series, The Prisoner. And then Forest Farm near Cardigan provides a variety of tent options, Nomad, Dome, and 3P Fell. They also have crog lofts with solid stone walls for those who don't do tents. It's like camping, but with the experience of a hotel, with woodland corridors and canvas rooms. On-site activities are also available, including archery, bushcraft, and canoeing. All right, how many more? Okay, heritage. Hopefully these aren't too long. 10. Ooh. Whichever bit of Wales you heard of, you'll find yourself within easy distance of the world's finest castles and awe-inspiring landmarks. There are over 600 of them, from Roman times to millionaires' follies of the 19th century, making Wales the castle capital of Europe. Each has its special story to tell. Many of the heritage sites are in care of Cadwa, which is similar to English Heritage and Historic Scotland or the National Trust. 3 or 7 day Explorer Passes provide a great value way to explore the wealth of historic attractions Wales has to offer. The passes offer groups and individuals the freedom to explore as many Cadwa's historic attractions as they wish, or squeeze in during their visit to Wales. The more the pass is used, the greater the savings. You as individuals can earn up to 25% in commission. Look at that. That's nice to know. Money. Ancient sites. Welsh hills and valleys are scattered with mysterious relics from the distant past, giving a glimpse into the life of early ancestors. Bryn Celyn, the mound in the dark grove, the atmospheric chambered tomb, was built on the Isle of Angles over 4,000 years ago. The rising sun on midsummer solstice floods the tomb with light. We can only wonder about the builders and their beliefs. The island has a wealth of ancient site. Perhaps that's why it's called Mam Samru, which means the mother of Wales. Pentrethyn, Pembrokeshire, is imposing Bronze Age megalithic site dating from at least 4000 BC, which sits high on Carnegie with stunning views of the Fishguard Bay. The capstone weighs about around 40 tons and is poised delectably delicately on 3 uprights. The valley below is said to have been a favorite place of the ancient Druids who planted it with their sacred oak groves. The inner ring of Stonehenge is made of bluestone found in the Preseli Hills of North Pembrokeshire, 200 miles away. There are a number of theories about how the huge stones were transported. In 2000, a team of volunteers tried to drag a 3-ton bluestone boulder over land and by raft from Wales to Stonehenge, but the stone was too heavy and fell into the depths of the Bristol's Channel. Was it aliens, guys? I know they have a thing on History Channel on that. You never know. The Romans, Carlion near Newport Gwed. Carlion is the site of one of Britain's 3 permanent Roman legionary fortresses, founded about 74 AD by the Second Augustan Legion, many believed to be the location of King Arthur's Camelot. The amphitheater, the most complete in Britain, could hold the entire garrison of 6,000 soldiers. The National Roman Legion Museum houses a fascinating collection that tells the story of how Romans lived and fought, worshipped, and died. The Roman fortress baths, where the soldiers went to relax, are the most complete remains of any baths in Britain. Museum owned by the National Museum Wales, Roman baths managed by Cadell. Gwent, Cardigan was a Roman town on the main road between Carlion and whatever. Impressive 4th century walls standing up 5 meters high.
Gloucester.
Got it, Gloucester. Plus excavated houses, a forum, basilica, and Roman British temple. By AD 47, most Britain was under Roman control, but they had yet to conquer the fierce Welsh tribes. It took them another 30 years to do it. Whew. Okay, guys, we're almost done. Let's do it. Let's do it. Castles. Wales has over 600 castles, making it history lovers' paradise. Details about some of the spectacular ones are given below. Carnarvon Castle, one of the ring of awe-inspiring castles surrounded by walled town built by Norman King Edward I to crush the defiant Welsh. Carnarvon, with its octagon towers and patterned stonework, cost them the then vast sum of 23,000 euros. Today, it is UNESCO's World Heritage Site, just like the Great Wall of China and the Taj Mahal. Edward's first eldest son was here proclaimed Prince of Wales, the title that is still conferred on the British monarch's eldest son. The investiture ceremony of HRH Prince Charles, the current Prince of Wales, was held in Carnarvon Castle in 1969. Some of the fine examples of Edward's first castles can be seen in Beaumaris, Harlech, and Conwy. Caerphilly Castle, built by Norman Lord Gilbert de Clare in the mid-13th century, is among the most impressive fortresses in Europe. Its network of waterworks and walls presenting multiple obstacles to would-be invaders. Its southeast tower tilts more than Leaning Tower of Pisa. The castle was restored in the early 20th century, and the Great Hall is now a popular venue for weddings and events such as big cheese festivals, and celebrates the local delicacy, Caerphilly Cheese Castle, right next to the town center, and is easy accessible by public transportation from Cardiff, a journey time around 30 minutes. The Carew Castle, Pembrokeshire, has a romantic history. A Norman married Ness, the most beautiful woman in Wales, and brought her here to the castle, but his Welsh rival, in love, scaled the walls of the castle and carried her off. The remains seen today are that of the grand 16th century mansion built by Sir John Perrot, a favorite of Elizabeth I. There is also an impressive 11th century Celtic cross, the only restored tidal mill in Wales, a medieval bridge, and picnic area, all linked by a delightful 1-mile circular walk, which enjoys uninterrupted views of the castle. Carrigsena Castle, romantic citadel, sits 300 foot rock thrusting from the Tyree Valley and seems to float up on the early mist. Those who take the walk on the ancient pathway to the summit are rewarded with spectacular views over the Brecon beacons and can admire the magnificent native British Longhorn cattle grazing in the fields below. One of several rare animal breeds of the farm on site is a shop selling a wide variety of Welsh crafts and specialty local produce, and a tea shop where visitors can enjoy their specialty dish call of a hearty vegetable soup served with local cheese, followed by freshly baked cakes, Welsh cakes. The Powys Castle and Garden, ancient rose red walls rise above the River Severn near Welshpool, but Powys is a grand 17th century house packed in a medieval box and surrounded by beautiful formal gardens. The castle has a strong link with Major General Robert Clive, known as Clive of India, who was one of the key figures in the creation of British India in the mid 18th century. Visitors walking around through the staterooms will discover a fine collection of paintings, sculptures, and furniture, including an extensive collection of treasures from India. And the Cardiff Castle. Sitting at the heart of the city of Cardiff, Castle is a medieval fantasy in 19th century Gothic revival style. Its interiors are rich with murals, stained glass, marble, gilding, and elaborate wood carvings. Each room has its own special theme, including Mediterranean gardens and Italian and Arabian decoration. A Norman keeps remains within the castle precincts, which are surrounded by walls designed to replicate the Roman fort, which stood on the site from which Cardiff takes its name. Just a short walk away in Butte Park is a spacious green area by the River Taff. All right, historic houses. Damn. All right, historic houses. Wales boasts a range of historic houses, which gives visitors a window in Welsh domestic life centuries. So you have, do you mind if I kind of skip over some of these and then we'll cheat on the test? No.
Yeah, that's fine. If you need some more help, just let me know. I don't mind reading.
All right, I'll finish this one. The Fagans National History Museum, close to Cardiff. This is one of Europe's leading open-air museum and Wales' most popular heritage attraction. It stands in the grounds of the magnificent St. Fagans Castle, 16th century manor house, and is a great way to see a range of Welsh architecture in one visit. Here, visitors can see 40 typical Welsh buildings, which have been carefully relocated from all over Wales, including a chapel, a schoolhouse, general stores, and a terrace of workers' houses, each decorated differently, showing the changes between 1795 and 1985. The vibrant wall paintings and carvings in the medieval St. Telo's Church are not to be missed. Plasma Elizabethan Town House, Conwy, the most splendid town mansion of the Tudor period, remaining in Britain, built in the heart of medieval Conwy's narrow cobbled streets. Its owner, Robert Wynne, an influential merchant, like grandeur and color, and entertaining lavishly. Particularly exquisite is the ornamental plasterwork in the hall, now repainted in vivid original colors. Visitors should look out for the initials RW on various crests and coats of arms, a reminder of the master of the mansion. Place Nude Country House and Gardens, Anglesey. Place Nude is the home of the Marquis of Anglesey. The house has a spectacular location on the Menal Strait with views across the mountains of Snowdonia. It was rebuilt in the late 18th century in the Gothic style and is surrounded by extensive gardens. The artist Rex Whistler was a family friend, and dominating feature of the dining room is his masterpiece, a huge mural of a magical Italian style sea and cityscape inhabited by imaginary figures and also members of the Marquis family, their personal possessions, and even their pets. The artists use perspective and trompe-l'oeil techniques or recede, depending on where the viewer is techniques to great effect. The mountains and the city appear to expand or recede depending on where the viewer is standing. The first Marquis, hero of the Battle of the Waterloo, is commemorated by a column surrounded by bluebell woods, which dominates the skyline behind the house. Visitors can climb up 115 steps to the top, where there are spectacular views of Snowdonia and the beautiful Anglesey countryside. All right, the romantic friendship of the ladies of Llangollen captured the imagination of Regency society. They received a stream of visitors, including Wordsworth, Sir Walter Scott, and Duke of Wellington, to the unpretentious little cottage, which over the years they transformed into a Gothic fantasy of projecting stained glass and elaborately carved oak. Then we have the Penrhyn Castle in Bangor. This enormous 19th century neo-Norman castle sits between Snowdonia and the Menai Strait, is crammed with fascinating items such as a 1-ton slate bed made for Queen Victoria, and it has an outstanding collection of paintings. In the stable block are Railway Museum and Superb Dolls Museum. The 24.3 hectares, 60 acres of grounds include parkland, exotic tree and shrub collection, as well as Victorian walled garden. The Erdrig near Wrexham, one of Britain's finest historical houses. Erdrig is a fascinating yet unpretentious early 18th century country house, reflecting the upstairs downstairs life of gentry family over 250 years. Below stairs is a unique collection of servants' portraits, while the upstairs rooms are a treasure trove of fine furniture, textiles, and wallpapers. The setting is an 18th century formal garden and romantic landscape park. The boathouse in Laugharne, overlooking the glorious Taff Estuary, is the boathouse where, from 1949 to 1953, the famous Welsh writer Dylan Thomas lived and wrote some of the most famous poems, including Under Milk Wood. It is now a heritage center and contains audiovisual presentations, original furnishings, and memorabilia, a themed bookshop, tea room, viewing platform, and terrace. And then we have Port Murrain Village, built by the architect Sir Clough Williams Ellis in the 20th century to resemble an Italian village by a Welsh estuary. There are 2 hotels on the site and a range of individual houses providing quirky visitor accommodations, as well as cafes and shops for day visitors. The cult television series The Prisoner was filmed here, and each year fans hold a convention in the village. Boop, 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 boop. All right, back at you, Joetta.
Okay, I'm going. Yeah, you need to break out all that. Woo! Okie churches, chapels, and cathedrals and abbeys. Below is a selection from the many fine churches, chapels, cathedrals, abbeys, and sacred sites in Wales. Let's see here. Did you know? In the 500 years after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Celtic Christianity flourished in Wales. One of the most important figures was Saint David, patron saint of Wales. The survival of the Welsh language owes much to the translation of the Bible into Welsh by Bishop William Morgan. It created a unified Welsh language and was the starting point for modern Welsh literature. In the early 19th century, there was a great wave of building across the Wales. Many still exist in communities across Wales. Insider tips. Almost every community in Wales has a church or chapel at its heart, historical buildings that are central to the story of Wales and Welsh people. The Church's Tourism Network Wales works to ensure that churches and chapels are open to visitors. Pilgrimage and church walking trails have been developed, ranging from the Cistercian Way that links all the Welsh Cistercian abbeys to poets, priests, and pubs, walks around the South Wales valleys. In addition to their usual services, many churches and chapels regularly host choral and instrumental concerts which welcome visitors. St. David's Cathedral, Pembrokeshire. This enchanting small cathedral is built on the site of the 6th century monastery founded by St. David on the dramatic West Wales coast. It has always been a significant religious site. 2 pilgrimages to St. David's equaled 1 to Rome, and it continues to thrive today. Next to the cathedral are the remains of the Grand Bishop's Palace. St. David's is Britain's smallest city. For 10 days annually in May and June during the spring break holiday week, the cathedral is host to a feast of classical and contemporary music concerts. Llandaff Cathedral near Cardiff. The cathedral stands on one of the oldest Christian sites in Britain in a tranquil area known as the City of Llandaff. The current building dates from 1107, but has altered through the centuries, reflecting changes in religious beliefs, politics, and society. In medieval times, many pilgrims came here to visit the shrine of the Celtic Saint Tilo. Saint Tilo's well and the remains of the bishop's palace are close by. Brecon Cathedral. The cathedral is set in a walled close, unique in Wales, and is regarded as one of its finest buildings. The Heritage Center and Craft Shop was created from a 17th century Tith barn. An exhibition tells the story of the priory since its foundation in 1093, and the shop sells a range of local craft items, including carved wooden love spoons and paintings by local artists. Pilgrim's Tea Room and Restaurant offers delicious home-cooked meals, and group bookings are welcome. Tintern Abbey, Monmouthshire. The Cistercian Abbey of Tintern is one of the greatest monastic ruins of Wales. Its fine proportions, a romantic setting in the Wye Valley, has attracted painters and poets throughout the centuries and is appealed to visitors endures today. St. Giles, Wrexham. St. Giles is considered the greatest medieval parish church in Wales. The Great Tower is one of the 7 wonders of Wales, and inside the ceiling, adorned with 16 colorful angels playing instruments and singing, greets the eye. One of the oldest brass eagle lanterns in Britain is here, together with fine stained glass. The tomb of Elihu Yale, founder of Yale University, is just outside the west door. The Cambrian Orchestra at St. Giles is the orchestra in residence and regularly performs classical music in the church. Rug Chapel, Corwin, originally built as a private chapel, it sits in the tranquil setting of a Welsh herb garden. Its exterior is Victorian, but the decoration inside is 17th century. Every timber surface is elaborately carved, notably the painted angels on the roof beams. St. Margaret's Church, Bodell Widine, the 62 meters high spire at St. Margaret's is a distinctive landmark on the way into Wales. A masterpiece of Victorian architecture, it is popularly known as the Marble Church because of the 13 different kinds of marble used in its interior decoration. There are 80 war graves of Canadian servicemen in the churchyard, most of whom died during the European influenza epidemic of 1918-19. St. Goldwyn's Chapel, Pembrokeshire, nestled between the cliffs on spectacular Pembrokeshire coast National Park, 5 miles south of Pembroke, and a mile beyond the village of Bosherton. There is one of the most picturesque little 6th century hermit chapels in Britain. It's named after the hermit and saint who lived there, St. Goldwyn. To enter this picturesque little building, visitors descend a flight of steps which legend asserts cannot be accurately accounted by a mortal being. It is very strange, excuse me, that when a group of people are told to count the steps, their answers always vary. The number of steps is approximately 74. Mount Chapel, Ceredigion, is a very small community and ancient parish in South Ceredigion on the Irish Sea coast, about 10 miles from Cardigan. It gets its name from the prominent steep conical hill, a landmark from which of Cardigan Bay, which rises above the beach. The Church of the Holy Cross is an interesting example of a medieval sailor's chapel of ease. The site is said to have been used since the age of the saints, but the present building is probably 14th century, as an excellent example of a 12th or 13th century font made of pressed Selly stone. Calday Island, a pleasant 20-minute boat trip from Tenby Harbor takes visitors to the island that has been home to various orders of monks since Celtic times. It is now owned by monks of the Cistercian order, whose picturesque monastery overlooks the village green and the pretty cottages of the islanders. In the village, you can buy the perfumes chocolate shortbread made on the island. Bardsey Island is a place of pilgrimage that has been of great importance in Welsh religious history. There are remains of the 13th century abbey of the Augustinian canons who took over from the ancient Celtic foundation of the 6th century. The roofless tower has been adapted for those wishing to hold informal services in the open air. Nearby, a Celtic cross stands commemorating the 20,000 saints reputed to have been buried in or near the site. A chapel is open for worship and meditation.
Wow.
Yeah, gardens. Visit a private garden. Some private gardens in Wales are part of the National Garden Scheme, a charitable trust and open to the public. In addition to their published opening dates, many gardens will open by appointment. National Botanic Garden of Wales, Carmarthenshire, the National Botanic Garden boasts the world's largest single-span glass house designed by Sir Norman Foster, containing the best display of Mediterranean climate zone plants in the Northern Hemisphere. The garden is set in historic parkland dating back around 400 years, where 8,000 different sorts of plants flourish. Wonderful remnants of the Middleton Regency Water Park, especially the double walled garden Principality House. The stables and the lakes have been completely restored. But Nance Garden in Conway, created by 5 generations of one family, this 32-hectare garden is superbly located with spectacular views across Nodonia, with expansive lawns and intimate corners, grand ponds, and impressive terraces, a steep wooded valley and stream, as well as awe-inspiring plant collections that are continuously changing glorious displays of color. The famous Laburnum Arch is a curved walk about 55 meters long, covered with laburnum, which produces a magnificent cascade of long yellow flowers in late May, early June. Dyfern Gardens near Cardiff. The garden at Dyfern House is the Vale of Glamorgan, is regarded as a perfect example of Edwardian garden design. The grade 2 listed house and its grade 1 listed garden were created by a Welsh coal baron, John Corey, and his family after he bought the site in the late 19th century. Aberglasney Gardens, spectacularly set in the beautiful highway valley of Carmarthenshire. Aberglasney Gardens have been an inspiration to poets since 1477. There is a unique example of a surviving cloister garden in the orchard house, set in a ruined part of the house, is particularly imaginative and beautiful.
Very good. Thank you guys for sticking with us.
Absolutely, yes, yes. Industry and transport. South Wales industry was centered on coal mining and iron production, while slate quarrying was the most important industry in North Wales. Did you know the first check for £1 million was signed in Cardiff in 1901? Insider tips. Entry is free to all 8 National Museum Wales sites throughout Wales. Blaenavon Big Pit. In the ironworks, Blaenavon is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The World Heritage Center exhibition provides an overview of how the stories of Blaenavon industrial landscape are of global importance. The town's attractions include the Big Pit National Mining Museum, an award-winning national museum where former colliers guide visitors around the old coal mine, 91 meters underground, in Blaenavon Ironworks, which is the best preserved blast furnace complex of its period and type in the world. The reconstructed company shop in the refurbished workers' cottages provides a fascinating insight into the social history of industrial Wales. National Slate Museum, Llanberis. The National Slate Museum is located in the Victorian workshops built on the site of the vast Dynowig quarry on the shores of a lake. In the workshops and buildings, it looks as if the quarrymen and engineers had just put down their tools and left for home. Talks and demonstrations, including slate splitting, give a real insight to quarry life. National Wool Museum, Drefach Felindre. The picturesque village of Drefach Felindre in the beautiful Tafe Valley was once the center of a thriving woolen industry. Shirts and shawls, blankets and bed covers, woolen stockings and socks were all made here and sold in the surrounding countryside and to the rest of the world. The museum introduces the entire process from the sheep shearing in early summer right through the final product. National Waterfront Museum, Swansea. The National Waterfront Museum is an original waterfront warehouse linked to a new ultramodern slate and glass building. Through interactive displays and traditional exhibitions, the museum relates to the industrial and maritime history of Wales over the last 300 years.
Perfect.
And almost there.
Almost.
Narrow gauge steam trains. I love trains. I want to take a train all over Europe.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Especially that Orient Express, that world famous one. Oh, I've always wanted to my whole life. Cannot wait. All that luxury. There are 14 narrow gauge steam railways in Wales. They were built years ago to transport Welsh iron coal and slate to the ports, but now they offer a special way of seeing the wonderful countryside at a gentle speed. The Talwyn Railway, a historic narrow gauge stream railway set in the beautiful mid Wales countryside that passes the delightful Dalgach Falls. There are signposted forest walks from the end of the line at the Nant Bordal. The Reverend Wilbur Ardrey, author of Thomas the Tank, was a regular visitor and volunteer on the Talwyn Railway, and the names of the Talwyn engines appear in his Four Little Engines books. Reduced rates are available for groups 15 plus. How cool is that? We just learned something today. That was one of my favorite books when I was a kid. The Festiniog Railway and Welsh Highland Railway. The Festiniog Railway is the oldest independent railway company in the world today. It takes visitors on a 21-kilometer journey from Port Madog to Blaenau, Festiniog, the slate quarry town and home to Lachwed Slate Caverns, where visitors can choose from 2 underground tours to explore the underground world of the Victorian slate miner. The Welsh Highland Railway is the UK's longest heritage railway, is now open from Caernarfon to the Festiniog Railway's harbour station in Port Madog. The 2 lines, Festiniog and Welsh Highland Railway, offer visitors a journey across the Adonia more than 64 kilometers in length. Did you know in 1804, the world's first ever railway journey ran 9 miles from the ironworks at Penydarren to the Merthyr Cardiff Canal in South Wales? Insider tips. The Great Little Trains of Wales are a very special way of seeing some of the best scenery in the British Isles. And this year, a new discount card costing £10 is available. The discount card entitles the holder to 20% off one adult full round trip fare on normal timetabled trains on the participating railways.
Very good.
Woo! Chugga chugga choo choo.
Oh,
And they're wonderful
wow.
canals. Yep. Wales and England, very famous for their canals. Everybody's trying to copy them.
Okay.
Built originally to transport industrial raw materials and finished products, canals now provide leisure opportunities for cruising in a narrow boat or walking and cycling along the towpaths. Llangollen Canal, the dizzying Pont Hilt, aqueduct, which carries the canal over the River Dee, is 38 meters high, and the canal is unprotected on one side, giving the impression of a sheer drop from a narrow boat. Oh God, no. The structure is deservedly a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Visitors can walk alongside the canal across the aqueduct or can take a trip in a canal boat starting from nearby Llangollen, Monmouthshire, and Brecon Canal. This is one of the most beautiful cruising waterways in Britain. Completely isolated from the rest of the canal system, it flows through the stunning scenery of the Brecon Beacons National Park, making it a must for nature lovers. This canal also shows off its cultural heritage as it crosses the Blaenavon World Heritage Site. There are a number of companies offering canal boat holidays and day hire along Wales inland waterways, traveling at just 6 kilometers an hour. It's a great way of taking in the Welsh scenery. Woo, done.
Bam. All right, let's see what's up. All right, culture. Anybody want to read culture? We only have 2 more left. Let's do it, guys. We can get it done.
We got this. We are the champions.
Anybody?
Everybody's sleeping on us? Where are they?
I'll read, but can you, because I'm looking at your screen and I wasn't following along, but I'll read.
Go ahead.
All righty. Wales is officially a bilingual country with Welsh and English being equally important. About 20% of the population are Welsh speakers. Traveling around Wales, visitors will see Welsh as well as English written on road and shop signs and hear it spoken in everyday life. National Library of Wales. Much more than a library, the Library of Wales contains a mass of knowledge about Wales and the world, millions of books, thousands of manuscripts and archives, maps, pictures, and photographs, films, music, and electronic information. Visitors are welcome to tour the building, view the frequently changing exhibitions, watch films, and enjoy lectures. The genealogy department allows visitors to trace their Welsh ancestry. Entry is free of charge. National Somebody of Wales. National Etzelford is a celebration of Wales. Its culture and language is held annually during the first week of August, alternating between North and South Wales. It is a cultural feast that includes music, dance, visual arts, and original performances, both traditional and modern. This is not only a festival for Welsh speakers, rather for anyone interested in our country, our culture, and our language. The visual arts. Did you know that Gwendolyn and Margaret Davies, two sisters from Mid Wales, were among the first people in Britain to collect French impressionisms and post-impressionism paintings? They bequeathed their magnificent art collection to the National Museum Wales, completely transforming Wales' national art collection. It is the finest collection of impressionist paintings outside Paris and includes works of Monet, Manet, and Renoir. Art of the National Cardiff. At the heart of Cardiff's elegant civic century of the National Museum's art collection is one of Europe's finest, one which includes paintings and drawings, including those donated by the Davies sisters, sculpture, silver, and ceramics from Wales and the world. It hosts the Arts Monday for International Art Exhibition and Prize, and Contemporary Arts Initiative established in 2003 as a biannual event. It celebrates emerging arts from around the world. Admission to the National Museum of Art is free of charge. Yeah, this lady, Oreo, somebody. Anglesia Premier's purpose-built museums and art gallery has a changing program of exhibitions encompassing art, craft, drama, sculpting, and social history. A permanent display includes the world's largest collection of the works of famous local art, Sir Kiffin Williams, one of the defining artists of the 20th century, famous for his rugged landscapes of his beloved North Wales. Oriel Mosisu, blah, blah, blah. Renovated in 2020, Oriel Mosentine is now Wales' leading gallery of contemporary art, which regularly changeling exhibitions and a show showcasing many of Wales' leading contemporary arts. First opened in 1901, it was the first art gallery in the world built to show the work of women artists.
Very good. Thank you so much.
It's super small when you're reading it this way.
All right, you want to do another one?
Yep, I'll do another one.
Okay, keep us updated whenever you want to give it back up.
All right, let me get my eyes together. All righty. Welsh National Opera is a world-class opera company recognized both in the UK and international for its artistic excellence. It's the UK's largest provider of touring opera and the most active in Europe. Wales Millennium Century it is home theater. Yeah. All right, this other one, can you bring it up just a little bit? The Wales, Millennium Century. The Wales Millennium Century is Wales' premier art century for musicals, opera, ballet, and dance, as well as cafes and art organizations. The iconic building was designed to reflect the many different parts of Wales with local Welsh materials that dominate its history, state, metal, wood, and glass. There are often free performances in the foyer, and behind the scenes tours can be booked. Beacon Jazz Festival. For a weekend each August, thousands of people descend on the Mid-Wales market town of Beacon for the annual Jazz Festival. In addition to the four main venues, between them hosting over 20 concerts. The streets are full of musicians creating a magical atmosphere. Ghanaian International Music and so forth. Sounds good to me. Every summer since 1947, Llangollen in North Wales was staged one of the world's most inspirational cultural festivals and was designed to promote peace and friendship between nations in the Second World War. Each year, around 4,000 performers converge on this beautiful small Welsh town to sing and dance in the International Pavilion. Cardiff Singer of the World. Established in 1983, this biennial competition quickly became known throughout the classical world as a premier showcase for opera and concert singers at the start of their careers. Hundreds of talented young singers from all around the world applied to take part in the competition, hoping to be among the 20 finalists who came to the capital of Wales to represent their country. 2013 celebrated the 50-year anniversary of Rockfield Studios near Monmouth. They played host to many of the world's biggest artists, and in 1975 were used by Queen for the recording of Bohemian Rhapsody. Celebrated Welsh rock bands, including the Manic Street Preachers and the Stereophonics, have all used these studios. Music in Wales is often connected with male voice choirs such as the Morriston Orffis and Choir and Tirashi Mark Male Voice Choir. Both enjoying a worldwide reputation. Only Men Aloud was formed in 2000 with the aim of bringing the Welsh male choir tradition up to date. The repertoire varies from Welsh folk songs and hymns to musicals and operas, from bar shops and swings to pop, and they were on the choirs chosen to take part in the London 2012 Olympic opening ceremony. The tradition of choral singing is widely expressed through sporting events, especially in the country's national sport of rugby, where visitors can be thrilled by thousands of Welsh spectators singing the national anthem, Maheen Bob Nana. Choirs welcome visitors to listen to their rehearsals. It's a way to meet the local people and perhaps join them for a drink and chat in the pub afterwards. A comprehensive list of Welsh male voice choirs and the rehearsal times can be found here.
Very good.
Yay. Did we already read that? Oh, more. All righty, here we go. Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas is perhaps Wales' best known writer. His work includes scripts for radio broadcasts, radio plays, short stories, and films. Although he's best known for his poetry, Dylan's most popular poems include Do Not Get Gentle Into That Good Night and Death Shall Not Have No Dominion. He also included poetry in his famous plays for voices Under Milkwood, Saucy Host by Dylan Thomas Festival, each autumn in his honor. Hay Literature Festival. For over 30 years, Hay Festival was brought together writers from around the world to debate and share stories as its festival in a small market town on the edge of the beautiful Beacons National Park. Hay celebrates great writing from poets and scientists, lyricists and comedians, novelists, and environmentalists, and the power of great ideas to transform our way of thinking. Former US President Bill Clinton christened the Woodstock of the Mind when he spoke there in 2001. Hay now returns 15 festivals across 5 continents. The festival in Hay on Wye is held over 10 days in May and June each year. Cordell Country. Alexander Cordell, 1914 to 1997, was inspired by Wales' emergence as the first industrial nation to write a series of novels that vividly describe the lives of South Wales miners and iron workers during the period of the rapid change. Rape of the Fair Country, the story of a family iron worker and the rise of, is that Chartism? Which incest in blah, blah, now UNESCO heritage site, became a global bestseller. Tailor-made tours of the towns and landscapes he described in his books can be organized and delivered by a qualified Cordell Country guide. Beyond the Border Storytelling Festival. Beyond the Border is dedicated to promoting understanding of the world's pre-literature and oral traditions. Every 2 years on the first weekend in July, this unique festival brings together some of the finest storytellers and tradition bearers from around the globe to perform in the magical surroundings of St. Donat's Castle of South Wales Coast.
Yay.
On the South Wales Coast. Yay, it's over. Launched in 2019, National Theatre theaters across Wales. It shows to 2 village halls, major stages, nightclubs, aircraft hangars, and forests. New experiments range from the company's first touring live music gig to the takeover of a local castle. The end.
Let's see. Oh, it's not too bad.
Okay. Wales has proven itself time and time again to be the breathtaking backdrop to many award-winning TV series and Hollywood blockbuster films, including, I just put all that in there. Location, Mar near Bridgen. Film, Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, starring Peter O'Toole and Omar Sharif in an epic film about T.E. Lawrence, who built a formidable reputation in Arabia during World War I as a guerrilla army leader, and his subsequent life in British intelligence right up to the sudden death in the Viking accidents. Location there. Film, The English Who Went Up a Hill but Came Down a Mountain, 1995, starring Hugh Grant and Tara Fitzgerald, a romantic comedy set during the First World War. A map maker upsets a village when he announces that his landmark is too short to be called a mountain, and it is in fact a hill. Location, Freshwater Beach, Pembrokeshire Coastal National Park. Film, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, 2010, Part 2, 2011. Starring Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, Alan Richmond, Helena Bonham Carter, Bill Nye. The final film in the Harry Potter series, seaside scenes in the book relate to a fictional village where Harry, Ron, and Hermione take shelter in Shell College, a big cottage made out of shells. Location, Freshwater Beach, Pembroke National Park. Film, Robin Hood 2010, starring Russell Crowe, Kate Blanchett. The latest Robin Hood film, dedicated by Sir Ridley Scott, was filmed in Wales in May, June 2009. The filming in the Wales was part of the final and includes a major battle scene with boats and horses. Location, Tenby, Lampert, something. Film, Edge of Love, 2008. Starring Matthew Rise, Cillian Murphy, Keira Knightley, and Sienna Miller. This story is a tragic event concerning the famous Welsh poet Dylan Thomas, Rise's wife, Caitlin McNair Miller, and their married friends, the Clicks, Knightley and Murray. Locations, Barry Island and Penarth. Film, Gavin and Stacey, 2007 to 2009. Starring Brynden Ruth Jones, a BAFTA award-winning British sitcom based on the love affair between Gavin, a 26-year-old Bill somebody in Essex, England, and Stacey, a Welsh girl from Barry Island. Woohoo. The end.
All right, you can do Doctor Who.
I got Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a British science from fiction television series that has become an international phenomenon. It features the adventures of the time-traveling Doctor who battles to save civilizations and rights wrongs. Since it started in 1963, 11 different actors have played the Doctor. Doctor Who and its spin-off program, Torch, which are shown across the world, filmed in Cardiff and the surrounding areas and local landmarks can often be spotted in programs. In 2012, the Doctor Who Experience opened in Cardiff, which takes visitors on an interactive journey throughout time and space using amazing side effects.
Yes.
Yay,
One more.
7. One more.
I think we only have one more, right?
All righty. Wales is passionate about rugby. The Principality Stadium sits in the heart of Cardiff and the excitement of international match days, which are usually held in November, February, and March. I know what it means, but I can't say it right now. The whole city. Visitors can book a tour of the stadium to experience a taste of the atmosphere. It is not possible to attend an international game. There are plenty of opportunities to go to a local bar or regional match. Another great opportunity to meet local people.
Very good. Remember, keep updated with what is happening in Wales by signing up for the newsletters.
Yay!
Yay! Bianca. Okay, how do we get to Wales? Let's see.
A ship.
Free, yes. I'll finish this. We can get done with this. Wales is closer than you might think. We're just a few hours by road and rail from most of the UK's main centers. From London, for example, you can be driving across Severn Bridge into Wales in under 3 hours, and it's even quicker by train. From the rest of the Britain and beyond, there's an excellent choice of roads, flights, and ferries. Detailed information on getting to Wales can be found here. All right, airports. Cardiff Airport serves more than 50 direct routes across Europe, and over 900 worldwide links can be accessed via 11 hub airports, including Schiphol, Dublin, and Paris. London Heathrow Airport is just 2.5 hours from South Wales. Among the M4 motorway, Manchester, Bristol, Birmingham, and Liverpool are about an hour away from the Welsh border. The train, London Paddington to Cardiff, is 2 hours direct. London Euston to Llandudno Junction is 3 hours direct. Ferries, Dublin to Holyhead on Anglesey is 2 hours. Rosslare to Fishguard and Pembroke in Southwest Wales is 2 hours, and Wales is also close to other UK destinations. Drive time is 1 hour, 10 minutes from Cardiff to Bath and the coastal, 2 hours from North Wales to the Lake District, and Llangollen is 40 minutes by car from Chester and 1 hour from Liverpool. Wales has 6 cruise ports: Cardiff, Fishguard, Swansea, Milford Haven, Newport, and Swansea. Visit Wales Cruise Wales website has information about cruise ships visiting Wales. There are half and full day sample itineraries from all 6 cruise ports, okay? All right, last but not least, we're almost there. All right, getting around. Detailed information of getting around Wales can be found here. By car, Wales' hilly landscape provides a good network of main roads across the country. Journeys are scenic, but may take you longer than you expect, so you have time to take it all in. The Automobile Association has a route planner that will give you directions to and from where you want to go and tell you the length. Okay, so I don't know if anyone wants to take a picture to see if we have a test on it. Little more time needs to be added if you are traveling by coach. By train, the principal railway line in South and West Wales runs more or less parallel to the south coast, connecting Chepstow, Newport, Cardiff, Swansea, Carmarthen, and Pembrokeshire. Branch lines from Newport, Cardiff, and Bringen serve the valleys, the Wye Valley, and the Vale of Usk. In North Wales, a main line runs right along the coast through Prestostine, Ryle, Cowlan Bay, London, and so on. There's also a branch line between Wrexham and Chawton. There are several scenic railway lines in Mid Wales and North Wales. The Heart of Wales line from Shrewsbury to Loneley and Swansea cuts diagonally across the rolling hill country of Mid Wales. The Cambrian line runs west from Shrewsbury to Machynlleth, where it meets a picturesque Cambrian coastline which connects Aberystwyth and Palawan on the Lynn Peninsula. The beautiful Conwy Valley line runs Orlando through Snowdonia to Glencoe Fistog. By bus, a network of local and cross-country buses knits into the rail network to cover most towns, villages, and rural areas of Wales. For occasional journeys, just pay as you board in Cardiff. Day, weekly, and monthly tickets are available in the Brecon Beacons, Pembroke Coast, Snowdonia National Parks. Visitors can use a convenient park ride and bus services designed to cut down traffic. The Explore Wales Pass gives you unlimited access to all of Wales' mainland train services and many bus routes across the country. It offers great value for money for holiday travel and includes discounted access to key attractions and accommodations throughout. Whew. All right, guys, look, we're gonna get it done in 3 hours. 3 hours. Oh my gosh. I know. Let's take the assessment and go home, guys. Okay, let's do this. Wow.
All right, we got this.
Okay, anybody have the answers?
I'm trying.
All right, let's do it.
I'm Welsh, I'm telling you.
Okay. Again, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Again, this is a team effort. So let's do it.
Heck yeah.
Do, do, do.
My Lord, like I said, I swear I thought my Gaelic was bad. They're worse.
All right, are you guys awake? Oh.
Barely.
Yeah, I know, really. All right, where is it? Right here, right?
I'm still waiting for mine to load. It's taking forever today.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on here.
I'm still waiting
Not
for
my
mine
internet.
too.
All right, no worries. Boy, it looks like we're probably gonna have to take a few weeks for this.
Yeah, we got a big one.
Okay, 10 questions.
Oh, thank God.
I'll wait for you guys. Again,
Mine is loading.
some of the questions will be down the line. All right. Well, at least we're not timed on this one.
I know I butchered a lot of that. I'm going fast.
All right. What is the national Eisteddfod of Wales?
What? Who? Where?
A
Google is your best friend. What did you
Oh,
say, Stephanie?
A festival of, that one.
That one.
Ice Tedford.
Okay.
Tedford.
All right. So the National Eisteddfod of Wales is a festival of Welsh culture.
Yep. I'm falling behind.
Don't worry, we'll get you your answers.
I know it's not my internet. I got very great internet.
I
How
think
long does it take?
it's a system, it's a page,
Yeah.
because I also have great internet and it's not loading.
Yeah, very slow. How long does it take to drive from Cardiff to London Heathrow Airport?
2.5.
2.5. In which Welsh garden can visitors see the laburnum arch blooming in May and June? Hey! Anybody know?
I think it was wasn't it the Dyfern Garden, right?
It's
Oh.
the one below it.
Uh,
Okay, Bonnet Garden. Okay, on which date do Welsh people celebrate their patron Saint David's Day?
March 1st.
March 1st. What is the main ingredient in Welsh rabbit? The cheese.
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 I didn't-
What is the animal that appears on the Welsh flag?
The dragon.
Very good. I'm glad you guys are awake and paying attention. What is the total length of the Wales coast path from Chepstow in the south to Chester in the north?
The 1392.
Very good. Did you take notes?
Yeah.
I got a different question.
Very good. You should do more tests with this. What is the UNESCO World Heritage Site in North Wales where Prince Charles was crowned Prince of Wales?
I think it's Caernarfon, I think.
This one? No.
Yeah.
This one here?
It's the castle.
The Caernarfon Castle. Of what?
All right. Where in mid Wales can you go bog snorkeling? Wow.
That one.
This one?
Uh-huh. I don't know the names.
Only on the second question, because that's the question that just came up is the only one that's
You had?
together.
All right. Well, we'll go back, ask any ones that you got. Where in Wales hosts a Dylan Thomas festival every autumn?
The Swansea.
Swansea, the festival for Dylan Thomas. All right, let's see how we did. Yay, 10 to 10. So here we go. Oh, I like this. Okay, we got the answers here. So thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, guys. What
You're
question
welcome.
do you need?
I gotta redo it because I was.
What is the total length of the West Coast path from Chepstow?
1392.
Yeah. Okay.
Where was that festival? That was what is the National Ice Tafod of Wales? That was a festival of Welsh culture.
Festival of
Yes.
Welsh.
Yeah.
It was.
And then the Welsh Garden visitors see the laburnum arch blooming in May and June.
Bonnet Garden.
That one.
The
Where is it?
National Estafad of Wales. Okay.
Welsh
Okay.
culture.
And then Prince Charles was crowned
In
in
the castle.
In the
Yeah.
castle.
Caernarfon Castle. And the main ingredient in Welsh rarebit is cheese.
St.
It's also-
David's Day.
March 1st.
Yeah. March 1st.
Mid Wales, you go.
Was that 2.5 hours to London Heathrow?
Yep. 2.5 hours. The bog snorkeling is La Lonwardred Wells.
Good enough. Very good.
UNESCO
You get an
World
A for that.
Heritage Site in North Wales. That was
This one?
Okay.
Castle.
Yeah. Okay.
And then let's see, Dylan Thomas Festival was over in Swansea.
Swansea.
And then the length of the coast path is
1392.
1392.
1392.
Okay, the Laburnum Arch, you just went past it. There. What is that?
The
Okay.
garden, the Bodnet garden.
Okay, I was thinking it was the Aberglass one.
Done. Got it done. Woohoo!
Okay, animal on the Welsh flag, that's the
Do I get a
dragon,
gold
right?
star now? on my forehead?
Dragon. Everybody go get a glass of wine. No.
Oh, please, pass it over.
You said the animal on the flag is the dragon?
Yep, the dragon.
Okay, I thought so.
I thought you already has one, Marnie.
You know, that's why I was hoping Lucy was gonna be available. She's my British agent here. But I guess she must be busy on her farm. We could have used her today.
Yeah. All right, everybody got your test done?
Yes, done. Woo!
I think it's gonna make me retake it again.
All
Let me
right,
look at it really quick.
yeah, try.
Which one was the bog snorkeling?
Something Wales.
Lockdill or whatever. The one on the right bottom.
No, the answers changed.
I had mine out of order too.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's Lockdock Wells.
Wales or something like that.
Well, they're all West Wells.
Let me see.
It's
Okay,
the
it says I got
short one.
100%, so I passed it.
Wait. It's
I screenshot them all and they didn't.
land
show up.
weird. Land weird. It's
Yeah, it's a short one with like lactowid or something.
yeah, but there's
a-
three with double L at the beginning, so it's land weird.
I'll just pick one.
It's LLANWRTYD Wells.
TYD.
Thank you. And what was the total length of the Wales coast?
1392.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That was my last one. Let's hope I pass. I screenshot all the answers as you were doing them, but half of them only, 5 of them didn't even show up on my phone.
Oh no.
Well, considering 2 of them took us almost 3 hours, I think we're gonna be working on this a while.
I know. I
Really?
think next month.
No,
Well, I already have it scheduled for next week also, so we'll probably do 3 more weeks of this. Again, if you guys want to, we can vote on that. We're going to, for August, we are changing our Wednesdays to Mondays because Wednesdays, a lot of time Nina's team does vendor training and at the same time. So I don't want you guys missing out on those because a lot of times they give out gifts or promotions and stuff. So we're going to do Mondays at 4 and then Fridays still at 1. Okay. So I will put this on the recording and then next Wednesday, we're going to be doing the second half of Alaska. And then I'm going to make a schedule. I know Courtney has done some additional follow-ups. I think she did one for Hawaii that I haven't done yet that you guys can catch up on. One for Princess and then one, what was the other one? Hawaii, Princess.
Kennard.
There you go. All right. Congratulations, guys. Sorry, 3 full hours. I appreciate you guys sticking with me on a Friday night. Have a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow, we're doing the voucher and accountability training if you want to get on that. If you're new, we're doing new agent orientation tomorrow. And I will be on a Q&A in 2 hours if you want to jump on that for any questions, okay?
thank you very much.
Thanks, Marnie.
This was a lot of fun.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. Let's all go to Britain now, huh?
Heck yeah. I need to go see my
Train ride,
family.
Orient. All right.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you